Meow, meow, meow. Do you hear me? Meow, meow. Am I too quiet today? Meow. Hello. It's ocean waves. It's ocean waves. We're outside of the water today. Hello, sailors. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. Hold on, I can lock in. I can lock it. Oh, my glasses. I can't lock. I can't. Oh no. Hello. Hello to Klaus. Hello to Guppy-Chi. Hello to JK General. Hello to Wheels. Hello to Tenjink. Hello to Omega Andy. Hello to Comfy Magus. Hello to Mikey. Hello to Nararo. Hello to Yin Yang. Hello to Valentis. Hello to Noah. Did I get everyone? Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday, everyone. How's your week been? So, hello to Manager San. Did you guys have a good week so far? I thought we were doing a PJ party. Yeah, no. Get into your pajamas. Let's get nice and comfortable. This is a bedtime stream. Hello, Ethuine. Happy memory. Wait, it's not Monday. It's Wednesday. Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? It's not been great. I need a bedtime story. Well, you've come to the right place, Comfy Magus. Look at that. You're going to match your name today. You're going to get nice and comfortable in your bed. And I'm going to read you a bedtime story. Thank you for checking in, Manager San and Ethuine. How are you guys today? It's been very good for you, Noah? Oh god, this is nice. This week was awful. Why do you need a new car, Ethuine? What happened? Your 55 stream streak? Wait. Mikey, thank you for the 40 stream streak. You have to wait till 60, Manager Son? Oh, that just means we have to spend 4 more streams together. I need a board back for some blankies. I don't like the sea breeze so cold. I like the sea. It's so comforting. Hi, Zetastaria. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? Those waves sound pretty close. This isn't the kind of bedtime story. They sound close? Would you like me to sail you guys a little further away? Are they too loud? Are they too loud? Do you guys have a little drink with you? Do you have something like a little drinky drink? So, as the title says, this is my first ASMR stream. I am learning. I'm not used to talking this quietly, so I hope that this can be relaxing. If there's any loud sounds that come out from my end here under the ocean, I'll do my best to mute myself as fast as possible. The cats, they can be pretty loud when they're eating the catfish. They don't have any manners, you know? I have water. I'm drinking it right out of the... You cannot drink the ocean water, Comfy Magus. That's not good for humans. That's not good for humans. Also, wait. Oh my god. Congrats to Set Astaria on... I forgot. I'm so nervous right now. On their debut. I don't know if you guys saw, but they did an amazing job. It was really cute. I was only able to catch the tail end of it, but I loved the checky board. I feel so honored to be part of the checky wall. And I love your models at Astaria. It's very hypnotizing. Bomberport, happy... Oh, thank you for the head pats, Narara. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today, Bomberport? You're here early. Good job. I'm so proud of you. I know you've been very busy. So I'm very grateful to have you here today. Dehydration is a serious thing, especially out on the ocean. A lot of sailors have unfortunately passed away due to dehydration or scurvy. Make sure you have your citrus, guys. That's very important. Always have citrus. Hip. You saw what I did there? I'm so calm. Scurb. All right, guys. What the heck? I'm walking in. Hold on. Oh, don't worry. This is nice. I got the ASMR. Ah. Oh my gosh. Hello, Poker. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? Thank you for checking in. How's your week been so far? Yeah, I might have to turn those off. Meow. Ear-shattering cat ASMR. That is what Manhad and Frihod and Nesquik, especially Nesquik. What are some ASMR sounds? I'm so glad you asked. We have the keyboard. Can you hear that actually? We have this large stack of pins because I'm totally not sewing right now. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? I don't know if you guys are catching that at all. Are we able to make suggestions for ASMR bedtime stories? Absolutely, Tenjeng. You are absolutely able to make any ASMR suggestions for bedtime stories or just ASMR in general, as long as it's say so. It has to be say so. But here's my hand in a bowl of needles. That sounds awful. These are my sewing needles. I'm not pricking myself. It was going well until the last hour. What happened, Poker? Yes, there are ocean waves. We're by the ocean. It's help you relax. There's also my little drink with some ice cubes in it in a glass. I don't know if you can hear it right now. Can you guess what I'm drinking today? Go ahead and guess what I'm drinking today. Time to farm the parasocial. No one's parasocial here. What the heck? Who's parasocial? Maybe? Okay, the ice cubes sound good. Yeah. Iced tea? Nope, not iced tea. This is the last thing I want to hear before I rest. I thought you wanted to hear me say that funny 3-letter word. I thought that's what you wanted me to say. You know, that 3-letter word that all those characters you like say? No, nice try. You're not gonna get me to say it. But now would be a good time to redeem it. I can't think of a better stream than this one for me to finally say it. I would get really close and I would record it so that way you could have it as a ringtone. I also can... This is foul. Now you're just... What do you mean bullying? I would never bully you guys. Do you think I bully? Do you think I could bully? Can we pull our sea stars for it? I don't know. Can you? That's actually a good question. I don't know. I can also tap my nails against the glass. Can you hear it? My nails are kind of close. I can contribute 64k sea stars. No, I stained my new mat. No. I'll wash it out. What the heck? My favorite manhwa comic author posted an indefinite hiatus on Instagram the last hour. That is foul. I also have a manhwa artist that is on indefinite hiatus after just dropping the most insane cliffhanger. And she's like, yeah, actually, I'm on a break. Hello, CJ. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? Rip mat. I just got this mat. I'm so sad. I literally just got it. No. It's so cute. But how's your week been, CJ? How's your week been? I think I can wash it out. I think it's actually water. No, that doesn't look like water. Oh no. Oh no. That's okay. That's okay. I believe it'll wash out with 20 Tide Stick pens. So can anyone tell me what we're reading today? Oh wait, what are some other ASMRs? I can give you pages flipping. I actually don't know if my mic will pick it up. This is why I really need a new mic. Can you hear the pages flipping? Pirate Queen Tail? Not quite. I couldn't sleep much last night. That means I might be sick or have a pollen allergy. I believe that it is getting worse, the pollen allergy. Because they're not letting any female trees be planted, only male trees. So the pollen is getting worse into the cities. I hear some pages not as good as the ice cubes. Bees. Those ice cubes? I'm trying to lock in. I'm trying to lock in. This is actually so hard. Reminder, they don't plant female trees because they bear fruit and corporos deem it unsightly. Also, free food. Isn't that foul? They don't want to give people free food, free access to fruit. Could you imagine if you could just pick an apple on your way to the bus station? I can imagine it, actually. That sounds heavenly. No free snacks. Yeah, no free snacks. They don't want us to have free snacks. It's insane. It's ridiculous. I don't know why. Every day more doom. It is more doom. But also, I believe that the world is getting better. Some species are no longer endangered in the ocean. They're actually in safe numbers and populations. So there is some good news out there. We can't give up hope. What if you could just grab apples, but they're only crab apples? Well, I like eating crab, so I don't think that'd be so bad. I yearn for a walkable city with strawberries and lime trees growing on the sidewalk. Oh, strawberries sound so good right now. That's a great snack. Naroro, thank you for the 10 stream streak. I just saw it now. I'm sorry, I'm only looking at one screen. I thought plants were asexual. They are not. Not all plants are asexual. Some reproduce sexually. It just looks a little different, and it's usually through the bees. That's why we called the talk the birds and the bees. The birds and the bees. I love bees. They're so cute. Is that our bedtime? No, the talk is not your bedtime story. Your bedtime story is actually The Little Mermaid. Actually, I have a book here of a large collection of Hans Christian Andersen's stories, and it's got all of them in. One moment, please. One moment, please. One moment. Okay, anyways, that was the first alarm for the cat's dinner. Carpenter bees are the cutest bugs, and they are very cute. They're so round and fluffy. The Little Mermaid, is that your origin story or something? No, I would never fall for a human. Oh my god, Joey! Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday! How are you today? Thank you for checking in. How's your week been so far? It's my first ASMR. Gal gal! I saw you were also on Ryan's stream. I love her so much. My little cutie pie lion. Just okay. What? Why just okay? I'm doing great. Just a little nervous because I've never done this kind of stream before. So I hope this can be as relaxing for the sailors as possible. They are doing tree misogyny. Misogyny exists in the very roots of our society. It's everywhere. But don't worry, I believe one day we will escape it. It's just a lot of hard work and trial and error. just dealing with mental stuff, I hope this can be a good distraction then. I'm so sorry. If you also want to talk about it, this is a safe space. I'm more than happy to listen, or I'm more than happy to provide you a distraction that you might need. The world is your oyster, and you have many options in the pearls. This is my first ASMR stream too. It's our first villain. It's our first. It's our firsts together. Is that how that works? Is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it. It's all of our firsts oh my god. It's all of our firsts together. Thank you guys for giving me the honor of your first ASMR stream. I don't know how this works. Me neither. I don't know. But look, this is how the book sounds. It's a hardcover. And it's got an illustration of the Little Mermaid on the front. How do I sleep? Not yet, but I would welcome you to get a snack, maybe a drink that helps you relax. I usually like water, or I like warm chocolate milk or little bubbles. And then I get myself in a nice cozy blanket. So I would tuck you guys in if I could, and just get nice and cozy. I just joined. I don't want to bring the room down. You wouldn't. Don't say that. Wait, Joey, don't say that. You could never bring the room down. But I don't want to pressure you into doing something you don't feel comfortable with either. But never say that. No matter how you're feeling, you could never bring the room down. That's not true. I have one good thing to comment on, and that is my arm is basically fully healed. That's amazing! I'm so happy for you, Bomberport. That's got to be such a relief to finally have your arm healed. I know the feeling all too well. Did you have to do any physical therapy? Bubble, pop, electric, boogaloo, boop, 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 boobaloo? Bungalow? Watch me physically brings the room down. Now the room is on the floor. Whoa, you're so strong. I didn't know a human could do that. That's very impressive, Joey. I didn't know that was possible for humans. I'm actually kind of impressed. Yo, yeah, that's that gym motivation soul right there. I gotta get me one of those emotes. I've been going to the gym often. I scared myself the other day because I hadn't realized how much bigger my arms have gotten since I've been doing a lot of back and chest workouts, and normally those require your arms as well because they're like push-pull days. And I literally spooked myself because I was like, where did these come from? I never had these before. No, nothing like that, just some minor stuff plus donating blood. That's impressive though. I admire people that are able to donate blood. I get very scared and I tend to pass out. I very easily faint whenever it comes to blood, so thank you for donating. Everyone needs to, if they oh, I can't do any gym stuff anymore, bad shoulder. It's rough. It's very rough. Can you do any type of physical therapy to help with your shoulder? I've been doing some stuff for my shoulder as well for physical therapy. Captain is huge now. I've always been huge. I'm 10 feet tall. What are we talking about, Nararara? We need a co-gymming stream. There is a new emote. That's right. I forgot to announce it. We have a new emote, and it's literally me. Actually, now you wide. Actually, Narararo. I've always been wide. Me and the wide joy me, you can't tell the difference. I just tend to look away before they put the needle in. I try, and I still get scared. Oh my god, even now I'm getting lightheaded actually. Work itself is being at the gym, so I mean I work out every day. Wait, what do you do for work, Joey? If you're comfortable answering. What do you do for work? Actually? Having curves doesn't count. Eh? Okay, but I'm also quite wide. I've got broad shoulders. I've always been pretty broad and wide. I don't know. Stinky retail? Yeah, stinky retail sucks. Thank you for your service, though. It's rough out here. Big back, I mean. Yeah, I am a big back. What are you trying to say, Naroraro? Cool new emote. Thank you guys. I gotta update the credits. I literally put it in testing because it usually actually takes like 3 days for it to upload, but it did it pretty instantaneously. And I was like, oh shoot, I gotta give the artist credit, so I gotta do that after stream. Noted. Wide shoulders, guppy, be tough. Yeah, I remember my roommate at college because what were we doing? We were drawing. We were working on croquis, which is what you call, uh, like the little models that you sketch out for drawings. And so we were drawing some croquis and we were talking about the proportions of the croquis. And they were saying how the shoulder width of a croquis should be a head and a half. And I was like, well, that seems kind of crazy because I feel like most humans are like 2 heads wide for their shoulders, except for me. I'm like 3 heads wide. And then my roommate kind of looked at me and she was like, wow, that's so unfortunate. You are 3 heads wide in your shoulders. I'm so sorry for you. And I was like, whoa, okay, let's take it back a couple of notches. I didn't feel insecure about it till now. Now, why would you say sorry? Well, I always give customers lips, so as you should. They're disrespectful, and they're not always right. The customer is not always right. What the heck? With friends like that, I never said she was my friend. I said she was my roommate. Unfortunate talk about being jealous much. It is what it is. We never got along. That's alright. They're only right in taste. Eh? In taste? Oh yeah, like going to visit Joey. You're so right. That took me a moment. Forgive me. Let's see, what else can I give you guys that has a good sound? Oh wait, I have a bowl of shells here. Where did I put it? Right here. I have a bowl of shells, and I'm not kidding. They're actually shells and little pearls inside. Let's see how they sound to you guys. Oops. Do you hear them? They're in a glass seashell bowl. It's really small. And there's little pearls and a ring. And the shell fell inside my microphone. What the heck? I'm tapping the shell against the glass. Oh, that hurt. Oh, there's a needle inside. Whoops. How did a sewing needle get in there? What the heck? That shouldn't be in there. I keep finding sewing needles all over the place. This is very dangerous. Let's see. I can give you guys... I have car keys. Or little jingle bells? Where did I put my little jingle bells? I have them here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's one. You hear that? Any guesses what it is? Any guesses what it could be? Tic Tacs? No, not Tic Tacs. Toothpicks in a box? Nope. It's my ADHD medication that I keep forgetting to take. It's absolutely full. Oh, actually, that's bad. I do have this. It is a box. Let me see if I can get it. Vent. Uh-oh. That's not loud. That's loud. One moment. There we go. I got it out. I have a box full of pearls. Let's see. Let me empty out some of these things that are on top of it so you could hear all of them. They have a pair of tiny scissors, a hair clip, a magical wand, a pencil, a hairpin, stickers, a pin, keychains, more beads, and a little Michiru figure inside. You hear that? You hear that? Those are all the pearls I collected under the sea. Oh, oops, I dropped them. Uh-oh. Manad, no! Leave them alone! Please! Don't touch them. Okay, no more playing with the pearls. That's a dangerous game. I spill things. Oops. Healing makes you stronger. I do agree therapy does make you stronger. The point is not to rely on therapy. I mean, what am I saying? The point is to not rely on medication if you can. But if you absolutely need it, there's no shame in taking it. It's meant to make your life easier. I'm just very forgetful, and I really should take mine. I actually need it. I'm just very forgetful, which is part of the problem. Imagine how much more efficient I could be if I took it. Then I would really be rise and grind. Rise and grind, rise and grind, rise and grind, 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 grind. Captain, your meds. Yeah, they're right here. I also have a tarot deck. Ahoy yin yang! Thank you for checking in. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? No, I have tarot deck. I have 3 sets of tarot deck actually. I hope to show you guys them. They're actually some of my most prized possessions. I find them to be absolutely beautiful. I have one that's entirely based off of Alphonse Mucha pieces. They're all of his art, like based off of his artwork style. I have another that's... Hello? Okay. I have another that's very surrealist. It kind of reminds me of like picture collage surrealism. You know how to read tarot? I do know how to read tarot. I'm not the best at it, but I do know how to read it. And I have another that's by one of my favorite artists of all time. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Naroraro. One of my... Where's my water? Oh, here it is. This doesn't have ice cubes, unfortunately, but it is a really cute iridescent cup with a mermaid on it. I will. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? How's your week been so far, Will? Your book arrived. Your physical book? I finally got it. The short stories. So I could finally start reading it. It said it delivered originally, but when I checked my mailbox, it was not here, but it finally made its way back from the lost mail. Oh, thank you for the head pats, Joey. And now I'll be reading them while I'm at the gym. Hand cam stream? I would love to do another hand cam stream. I was actually thinking about doing another one next week. I have a lot of checkies to catch up on. I have them all finally printed out for my birthday, but I realized I haven't been able to decorate them yet. So now I can, maybe next week I can decorate them with you all on stream, and then a few extras as well. Oh, thank you for checking in, Will. I'm doing great. I'm very nervous right now since this is my first ASMR stream, but I do hope you enjoy it and it helps you relax instead of be nervous like me. Speaking of mail, I'm anticipating checkies. I'm excited. Yes, yours is the one that I'm like one of the ones that I'm missing to decorate. It's the birthday ones. What? Who would have made you have so many checkies? You, Wheels, Bomb Report. Who else got checkies? Oh, I have to look it up. I know, I remember the ones from the Valentine's Day. I can't remember. Oh, I think Narorara also got a checky. I can't remember who else got checkies for the birthday. What's a checky? A checky is a decorated Polaroid picture, usually decorated by the performer. It's really popular amongst idols. Oh, wait, the Valentine's checky never arrived? Wait, what? Wait, seriously? It never arrived? I haven't sent out the birthday ones yet. It's the Valentine's ones that shipped out. I may or may not have paid for a couple. Yeah, I've got them all in I've got them all here in my bag. I've made sure to keep them state. Can't recall either. No, I recall you getting one Naroraro. I recall Bomberport. I recall Wheels. I recall Eduji. Also, Eduji and Wheels also got some of the catfish. I'm looking into... Okay, if you want extra, don't worry about it. I'll send them out. I feel so bad. I was really nervous that they would actually get lost in the mail. That's what I was fearful of. So I ended up getting a P.O. box. So that way, if any got lost, they would just come back to my P.O. box rather than the borrowed address that I used. So now I have a P.O. box, guys. Yay! Oh, okay, I never knew that they were called that. I bought some Polaroids from cosplayers who cosplayed as that. Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. And they're called checkies. And they're usually decorated either with stickers or acrylic markers. Things like that. Guppy P.O. Yeah, I have a P.O. box. I think when you first started Checky, I got one. Yep, you have literally one of each bumper. One of each. You were even the only one that bought from the Luca cosplay. Because I was like, oh, I'll just throw it in there. I can... No, you don't... No, wait, what? Birthday gift? No, 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 no. No, 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 there's no need for birthday gifts. There's no need. Wait, no, I feel so bad. Oh, getting lost? Are you getting sleepy, Will? Are you relaxing? Do you feel nice and cozy and ready for bed? Birthday? No, guys, my birthday was literally a month ago. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? This was a month... Oh, I'm celebrating my sister's birthday in my mind. Her birthday was yesterday, actually. Sister Chi's birthday was yesterday. We went to a restaurant. I'm gonna get all of you. It is not my birthday. If it is not my birthday, every day is not my birthday, but every day is a special day with all of you here. I would miss streams a bit. I just bought one of each Checky to make sure I was on top. Report, there was really no need. There's no pressure to buy them. I just do them because they're fun. I think they're cute and fun to do. And honestly, I realized, is this kind of narcissistic? But I think they're kind of fun to do. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Will. I'm someone that's really uncomfortable in front of a camera. Like, really, I guess shy. But the Polaroid Checkies feel like they're a lot more casual and easy to do. So I can just make a bunch of silly poses. And it feels like it's fine. It won't look bad. Because it's meant to be for fun. Sweet 19. Nara, you do know I'm old enough to drink, right? Speaking of... Oh my god, I didn't get to tell you guys about this when it happened. What is that doing here? Anyways. There is a guppy drink. There is a guppy drink that someone created. Let me see if I can pull it up actually. It was on Twitter. It's like officially the first post on the Guppy-Chi gallery. It's so cute. I really want to try it. I'm not encouraging drinking. If you're underage, don't drink. Oops. Well, either I send you your gift P.O. box or I may attempt to... You know what? I'm going to encourage you guys to come to Pengy Party. Thank you for the bitty bites, Will. This is so hard to do. Is it like 90% sugar because you're so sweet? Where's Pengy thingy? Actually, you know what? Let me get the link. Let me get the link for you guys. Ignore the cursor that keeps appearing. Actually, maybe this will be very hypnotizing for you. Follow the mouse. Follow the mouse. Oh, thank you for the head pats. Follow the mouse. Pengy Party tickets. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. And let me go ahead and link it here and pin it. I'll be performing at Pengy Party, guys. Hi, Jovan. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? How have you been? It's June, so I've already marked it on my calendar. Yay! I'm glad. Please come to Pengy Party. What is it? What is this amazing sounding event? I'm so glad you asked, Eduji. Pengy Party is an event that my dear best friend Pengy is hosting. It is meant to be a birthday live, but she's bringing in a bunch of incredible performers to share the stage with her. And it might be, I think it might actually be Miami's first like Hi Guy Indie Idol event. Now that I think about it, in terms of like not at a con. I can't think of any lives that it may have happened in Miami, so don't quote me on that. But I think this might be like Miami's first non-convention idol fest. Hey Guppy, I'm doing great, just winding down from another busy day. How was your day? Did you get some work done? How was your time with your sister? I didn't get a chance to respond back, but I saw that you were hanging out with her. That's so sweet. Did you have a good time? Wow, congrats. I am performing live. I'm very nervous. I want to make sure that I do a good job because I know how much these events mean to Pengy. So I know she brought me and she trusts me to do a good job, but I want to make sure that I do it. So I've been practicing every day for this event, and I really hope this time that I can do a good job with singing and dancing live and not running out of air. So Pengy is organizing this whole thing alone? No, she's not. She's actually got help from the incredible group called Wodasan's Frontiers. They help organize idol events, like birthday lives and indie idol events throughout the country, mostly along the East Coast. So they're based, I believe, in the tri-state area, and they host a lot of events up in the Northeast, but they're starting to expand down to the Southeast as well. Well, Miami did have an idol group perform at the Spirit of Japan event, but I think that's still more of like a convention. Like this is more like a complete idol fest separate from any event that's being hosted. Like it's its own show. Yep, I took her to see the Mario Galaxy movie. How was it? Did she like it? Did she like it? Did she enjoy it? And where can I catch this amazing event if I can't go? Oh my god, Bomberport, I'm so glad you asked. You can actually buy streaming tickets online through that same link. If you can't make it to Miami, you can just get a streaming ticket and watch it through Twitch, I believe. I think it's Twitch. Pengy was born to be a famous singer. Literally, though. She's always said she wants to be like disgustingly famous, and I think she's got the chops for it. She's incredibly talented. She's got a beautiful voice. She's very funny and charismatic, and she's cute as a button. She's absolutely born to be a famous singer. Well, either way, I'm there for you to cheer my heart out. Oh, yay! Thank you. I'll be looking forward to seeing all of you that can make it. She loved it. I recorded some of her reactions. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. EP time. Oh my god, Pengy, we were just talking about you. That's crazy. We summoned her. We summoned Pengy. How are you, Pengy? Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How have you been? How's your week so far? Let's hope they save the VOD in case I still manage to miss it. I believe, Bomberport. I believe. I know you're very busy, though. I do think they'll save it, though. Wishing you nothing but the best. Thank you, Jovan. I'm so nervous. I hope I could do a good job for her. OMG, is that the Pengy time from the amazing upcoming event Pengy time? It sure is. It sure is the amazing Pengy time for the amazing upcoming event for Pengy called Pengy Party. Oops. There you go. Rikuya! Thank you for the 3-stream streak. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. Thank you for checking in. How are you today? Oop, didn't redeem my free watch streak message. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday, Rikuya. You're gonna be super poggers. Ooh, I'm gonna try my best just for you, Pengy. Thank you for checking in. I'm working very hard so I can do a good job for you. You like my eye makeup? Really? Here, want me to get closer so you can see it? Eh. Joker, thank you for checking in. How are you today? Been working hard. What are you working on, Rikuya? Damn, this is a big thing. It is a big thing. There's 16, 17 performers total. It's a lot of performers, and they're all incredibly talented and skilled at everything that they do, whether it's singing, dancing, both, comedy, or just charisma alone. I'm so excited to see all of them up on the stage. Been working hard too. What's the difficult task you got at your job? What do you have at your job? How's your week been, Joker? Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. Still drowning. Don't drown. You're supposed to get comfortable. You're supposed to get nice and comfortable and relaxed, not drowning. Drowning doesn't sound very relaxing. 16 performers and a couple of surprise guests. Actually, I don't think I've mentioned this to anyone yet. I think this might even be news to me. Ooh, you know what? It's gonna be exciting. A jam-packed event full of amazing idols and performers and VTubers. What's not to love? I think Woda-sans will be pleased. Eh? Wait, I missed messages. Chotmate. I can't scroll up. Why can't I scroll up? That's what I'm saying. This is a new development. Oh no. Oh no. These surprise guests on top of the 16. Yup. Been doing all right. Had a laptop issue, but got it to work. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you got it to work. I feel like everyone lately's been having some computer issues. You know what? I liked being kind of close. I think this is a good distance. I think this is nice and good. I like this. This feels accurate. There you go. I got my screen back. You're so close, Kia. That's the whole point. So I could tuck you into bed, give you little head pats. Maybe read you a bedtime story. Okay, wait. I missed some messages. Chotto. Thank you for the 3 streams, Duke. Guppy, what's your favorite mix? I don't have a favorite mix. Eh? Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. Thank you for checking in the sun. How have you been? How's the move been? It's been forever. Are you settled in your new move? Can you tuck me in? Of course I'll tuck you in, Pengy. I even have a great bedtime story picked out. I've got... You're gonna make the news, Pengy. This sounds like... Well, you did say you want to be disgustingly famous one day, but I think it's more of a compliment, you know? Been busy, but we're chilling now, all set up minus 1 or 2 things. That's amazing! I'm so glad! Yes! Congrats on your new move. Can we get... What is the ASMR version of clapping? Oh, thank you for the hydrate wheels. What is the ASMR version of clapping? Can we get little finger tapping your nails? Okay, can we get nail tappings for Quigs for their move? I don't think you can hear my... Wait, hold on, here. Congratulations. I have claws. I don't need acrylic nails. I have claws. But I may or may not have filed them down really short because there was a... Anyways. I would say get ready for the heat, but it seems you're chasing after it, so good luck. Yeah! I love the heat. I like warm weather. Thank you for the hand noises. Of course, Quigs. Congrats again. Wow, I'm so happy for both of you. I need to write more poetry. Yes, you do, Will. I'm excited to read your writing. Why are you bonking your head? What is this? Why are we bonking heads? Why are we bonking heads? Huh? Huh? Your comment? What comment? I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, Pop Report. Say so because I say so. Okay? Be so normal. Oh, my coffee's melting. Oh no. Robin Jones! Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. Thank you for checking in. How was your week today? How have you been? Not like that, like this is gonna bring in. Yeah, this is a huge event. Thank you. I don't think you realize how incredibly impressive this is. This is like pioneering the idol community into South Florida. This is huge. This is huge. You have no idea how incredible this is. Hi, Robin. Guppy being unsay-so? That's impossible. Yeah, I would never be unsay-so. I'm so say-so. I'm so say-so. What the heck? Could I be Could I... Hold on, I'm finding it. I'm finding it. Could I be capable of being unsay-so? Look me in the eyes and tell me, am I not someone who's pure of heart and not I can't even finish my sentence. We got blushy. Actually, this is perfect. That means it's perfect for bedtime. Hold on, let me become. Wait, can I become plushy? Hold on, I actually don't know if I could become plushy. Oh no, oh no. Hold on. Let me see if I can become plushy. Hold on, I'm right here. I ain't going anywhere. Your eyes reflect the ocean, and the ocean isn't always calm, Captain. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? This is... the fuck? So different. La criatura. Okay, I'm walking in. I'm plushy. I'm plushy so that way you can be nice and cozy. And we can get tucked in together. Pet plush. Wait, can I get pets? No, I can't get pets in this form. Let me update that. I can't get pets in this form. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. Hold on. Ignore the... Actually, follow the cursor. Follow the cursor. You can get that. And you can... Where is it? Oh, this one. There we go. Follow the... You have a confused... I do have a confused... Literally me right now. Trying to figure out where everything is located on this computer. I have a lot of toggles in this form. This is my standard, and this is me bald, and then this is me all cozy. I match you guys now. Look, this is me in my blankie. This is me in my blankie. Are you guys in your blankie? Guppy, did you have a reference sheet for... I actually did have a reference sheet. Oh wait, do I have one? I don't. I kind of sketched out plushie Guppy myself, and then I gave it to my mama and my papa, and they and they made it come to life. I should make a reference sheet though, and then I can blush. I'm so shy. Me when you guys give me compliments. And then I can be scared and concerned. Like every time you guys tell me your sleep schedule, this is the face I make. And then I have no glasses. My glasses are gone. And I can have Pedro here with me. And then I can... Oh wait, and then I have a onesie form. I I have a little onesie. And I match Pedro. I designed this too. You mean you like sleeping for 4 hours or less? No, I like sleeping for 10 to 12 hours. I actually sleep a lot. I might actually keep the plush. Wait, which one do you guys prefer? Do you want this one or do you want this one? Do you want the blankie or do you want the onesie? And then I can also cry. I can cry. And then I can be confused. And then I got Santa. Oh wait, I gotta take this off. So wait, why isn't Santa working? Where did I put Santa? Where's Santa? Oh no. Is he here? Nope. Is he here? I don't remember where I put Santa. Oh no, I'm sorry. I don't know where Santa went. Alola Lusali! Happy Whale Wednesday, how are you today? They're both cute, but I think Pedro Onesie is cuter. Okay, look. I want to make this outfit. I think it's so cute. Ando! Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday, how are you today? Thank you for checking in. How's your week been so far? Mama Jones is yelling, I'll BRB. I hope she's okay. Oh no. Santa Guppy is lost in the Christmas tree in the basement. Yeah, you can't get a Santa Guppy until it's the holidays. That's actually what it is. You can't get Santa Guppy till it's the holidays. I'm at work. How's work going? Is it a good day at work? Is it chill? Is it relaxing? Is it not too stressful? I got a new AI voice box. I can be understood clear and wait, AI voice box? How does that work? Whoa, what? Work is chill, thankfully. Yay, I'm glad. Wish I had hot chocolate. I can make you some. I actually have a lot of hot chocolate here. I have some fancy hot chocolate that my mom gifted me for Christmas. You guys actually kind of teased me about it because you were like, oh my god, fish has expensive taste. And I'm like, okay, I do, but I can't help it. It's good. I like this chocolate. So I have the fancy hot chocolate, and then I have regular hot chocolate, and I have Ghirardelli hot chocolate, and I have protein hot chocolate. It's basically like it has extra grams of protein and fiber in it. So if you're not meeting your daily vitamins, I'm actually not hitting my vitamins lately. So I've been drinking that one a lot more to help. Don't hit me in my weakness. You want hot chocolate? Hot chocolate milk? Hey, no criticism for enjoy. Yeah, hot chocolate's good. I just unfortunately, I think with everything in my life, I have expensive taste, and my whole family has made fun of me for it. Even as a kid, I wouldn't know the numbers of the menu. I would just pick things out based off of what sounded good, and they'd be like, of course, you have to pick the most expensive thing on the menu to eat. Oh, look at this cutie. Look at you, Joey. Look at you. Look at that cutie pie. Wow. Wait, have you seen this model? This model, Joey? This is marketable plushie Guppy. I become a marketable plushie for your comfort, which is perfect for ASMR streams, like today. Wow. Haven't had hot chocolate in years. Honestly, if I had like the ability, I would have like a cafe. Like I would open up and be an owner of a cafe, because I love being a barista. Like I genuinely love being a barista. Guppy knows what's good instinctively. Thank you, Guppy-Chi. I mean, I've only recently followed, so no. It's okay, Joey, that's right. Okay, here, okay, so here's my... Oh, I can get angry? Wait, so how do I reset? Oh, this is how I reset. Okay, so this is how I look normally. And then I can get angry when the sailors are misbehaving or saying that I'm unsay-so, which is not true. I'm super say-so. I can become bald. I can become bald. Well, we have a next stop once you get tired of the sea adventures. I'll never get... You say that, but I will never get tired of the sea adventures. I'm gonna keep doing this for the rest of my life. Like, genuinely. I know a lot of people care about numbers, and it's hard. Let me not be bald while I have this conversation. No, I'm say-so. I'm so say-so. I'm so, please believe me. I'm so say so. Please believe me. Okay, but let me have this conversation seriously. Okay, it's really easy to get swept up in the numbers. I've been having like a lot of conversations with like people that I care about in regards to this. Um, and they're all like, a lot of them are feeling very similar, like, oh, they're getting really wrapped up in the numbers, and it's hard not to feel affected. And like to a degree I can understand, because like social media and everything like that is all about numbers, or just, analytics and stuff like that. And it's not nice to compare yourself as a number. But at the end of the day, I feel like, for me, if I could make it full time, that'd be amazing. But no matter what, even if there's only one sailor that I could stream to, I will be doing this for the rest of my life. Like, the only thing that could stop me is wah, 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 thank you, Naro. What do you mean? I'm gonna get lightheaded like this. Wheels. Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you, Naro. Thank you. Wheels. Comparison is the thief of... It is the thief of joy. And it's something that I've suffered from my whole life. And I think streaming is the first time I've ever... Thank you for the bitty bites, Robin Jones. Um, 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 I... I'm trying to have a serious conversation. You guys, thank you. I am a simple sailor. I saw a hype train. I had to act to. Thank you. Thank you. But at the end of the day, I really could not care about numbers if it means I get to keep... I'm gonna pass out. I just want to keep on doing this however long I can, for as long as I can, even if it ends up only being like once in a while. Nothing's gonna stop me. Like, this is the first time in my life where I actually don't feel the need to compare myself. I don't feel like, maybe sometimes I worry if I'm like not doing a good enough job, or if, I'm not giving you guys a good time, or mostly if I'm just providing for you guys in a way that helps make you feel better. If I'm doing good enough on that. But in terms of like, I don't know, growing or being full time, like, it'll happen if it's meant to happen. And I'll keep working at it because I enjoy it. But this is the first time in my life where I don't feel the need to compare myself. Like, I've always felt very insecure and scared and just never good enough at anything that I do. And it doesn't help that almost everything I did growing up is extremely competitive. And I don't like competition. But I don't know, I really like this. I really like hanging out with you guys. It's fun. I really like it. So thank you. I tried to be a YouTuber once. I got burned out by no viewers, and no... It's hard. It's hard. But you gotta do it for you. I was fully convinced that I wasn't gonna have any sailors. I was just gonna be yapping into the void. And honestly, I think I would have still been content. But having you here, you guys here, that makes it all the more special. You guys add the magic to this. You really do. I'm going through a similar situation. Some people were saying that I'm too underrated as a musician, but I'm just doing music because I love it. Exactly! You're doing music because you love it. And honestly, you're an incredible musician, Jovan. Like, yeah, I agree, you are too underrated. But also, because the love that you have for music is so evident in the work that you do, and everything that you make is made with such dedication and passion, that it'll happen. Like, it will happen. It Everything you make is a product of love. I like hanging out with you too. Thank you, Will. Just like reading, as long as you keep going live, you're not only getting better but also reaching more and more sales. Exactly. I just want you guys to have fun. If you guys are having fun, then I've done a job well done. That's why I take as many suggestions as you guys give me, because I want you guys to be happy. And I'm just happy chilling here and trying new stuff. Wow. Your music is amazing. See? Other sailors agree, Jovan. I don't mind if me and you make it big or not. We have fun together. That's all that matters to me. I made some amazing friends doing it. Yeah, I think that's actually like one of the best parts. Choo choo. Choo choo. What is the emo? Oh, whoops, I thought it was done. I think that's like one of also the best parts is all of the friends that I've been making along the way. Guppy, hi Celeste! Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. Just don't make too many promises, fish, and it will be smooth sailing. Yeah, I'm trying not to overcommit, and I think I've been doing pretty good. I know Roberta's still up in the air, and technically the 500 sailor celebration, but that's happening soon. Like, that's around the corner. Roberta, I've had some issues making Roberta. I've had to remake her twice. Hype train success. Thank you guys for the hype train. Choo choo. I appreciate you, Jovan. Oh, your guys' emote is cute. I still want to collab with Captain, but I know they're busy and it'll happen eventually. How's your week been, Celeste? How's your week been? Wow. I love you guys. Who's Roberta? She's the cosplay that if I got 200 sailors, I would complete. She's from Black Lagoon. She's the maid, the Cuban terrorist maid with the big gun and round glasses. I have you noticed I have a type? I wish Guppy and I would collab, but IDK what we would do. I got a lot of suggestions for collabs. It's just making them happen. I got a lot. Yes. What's my type, Narara? What's my type? What's my type? If you know it so well. Okay, yeah. You got me. Guys, I found incredible Civica art today. Hole mole. Hole mole. Oh. It was nice. It was good Civica art. Captain, we have the same type, mate. I introduced you to Koran Lee. Elster. I love Elster. I love Elster. Let me look up Koran Lee. Koran Lee. I can't type. Koran Lee. Oh, she's so cute. She's got twin tail braids and round glasses and bangs and a cute little dress. Oh, she's so up my alley. She's so cute. Your mind gets shot for. Hey, no. Well, are you? Can't just not share that. I can't actually share the Civica fan art. I would break every single TOS on Twitch. I can't. And I mean every single rule and guideline on Twitch I would be breaking. I can't share. Sorry, it's not happening. No, I'm not sending it on Discord. It's different. Wait, I also picked for Soccer Wars 1. Oh wait, is she from a dating sim? I like dating sims. My type is med hair peeps who look like they're bad for me. Med hair? What's med hair? She also sings her songs. Oh wait, that's so cute. She sings. Oh, medium hair. Oh, I learned something new today. No. I don't even know what that means, and I'm scared to find out. And every time you use that Hanekawa Guppy emote, I get scared, and I know it's something bad. No, I don't want to know. And no, we're not doing it. No. I don't want to. My instinct was Resident Evil 34, and I know Resident Evil 34 doesn't exist. So no. Put it away. I love the Hanekawa emo. I love Hanekawa. I love Hanekawa. I love the 1999 Nissan Skyline R34. Oh, I don't know what that car looks like. I have to look it up. I will send you her songs on Twitter so you can fall in the rabbit hole. Like, wait, you could just send me her songs on Discord. Send me her songs on Discord. I wanna know what. Yeah, put it on Discord so we can all listen. Okay, are you guys ready for story time? Are you ready for story time? Would you like to hear the story of the Little Mermaid? I spilled coffee all over myself. It's the skyline Paul Walker drives in Fast and Furious. Wait. Oh yeah, story. That's why we're here. Most of us are old enough to know. If you're not, shh, shh, shh. You're taking spilled coffee. Well, it's just a little bit on my fin. It's okay. It's not so bad. I'm mostly upset about the mat. Okay, so today we're reading The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. I have a book here that actually has his entire anthology of short stories that he's written. And we'll start off with The Little Mermaid. And oh, I wish I could show you guys the illustrations. They're actually really pretty. The first illustration, they're called plates. Coffee soaked mat my face. Hi Pixel. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? Also Huh? I have never felt the fear of God so quickly in my life. Oh my God. Me when I realized I didn't have you added on Discord. It's okay. Hi Pixel. Literally me right now, Valentis. Oh my God. Little Mermaid was a short story. It's pretty short. It's not terribly long. It's about me when I can't tell how long a story is. Hold on. It's only 34 pages long. It's not very long. Most of these stories aren't very long at all. Thumbelina is 20 pages. The Snow Queen is actually a little bit longer. It's 50 pages. The Ugly Duckling is like 10 or so pages. Guppy has changed to the final form. I am the marketable plushie, here to help you relax and get ready for bed. What's more comfy than a plushie? But you can't cuddle me though, sorry. No cuddling. Statement so wild, bro lost their sentence. I just didn't know it was that short. I thought it was a full book for some reason. It might be. And I have like a short story form. See, this is the time for me to say it. This is the time for me to say it, but no one redeems it. I don't understand why. This is literally the perfect time for someone to redeem that. But I'll have to share with you guys the different illustrations and throughout the story. So let me see. It's so cute. It's so darling. They're plates, and they're basically kind of done like linoleum prints, and then they're painted over. They're beautiful. So, are we ready? Are you tucked in? Ah, what the heck? That's not tucked in. Are we tucked in? Do you have your drink? Are we settled in bed? I know it's early, but you're supposed to start 2 hours getting ready for bed to finally be able to sleep and relax and get a restful night. I am so normal, and you're so normal. Never scare me like that again, please. I had the fear of God hit me at that moment. I got some watermelon juice. Oh my god, I love watermelon juice. I love watermelon juice. Wow. I can't even say my actual thoughts on it because I feel like Alciveras. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? I actually heard Anderson wrote The Little Mermaid to vent his frustration about how he couldn't be with the man he loves. Yes, that's actually why he wrote The Little Mermaid. He was a bisexual man and he fell in love with another man who was married. And so he viewed himself as the Little Mermaid in this story. Hi, Alciveras. How are you? How was your week? You came right on time. We're actually just about to start. Ha 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 ha. Would you like some ASMR sounds? I here's the book cover. It's a hardcover, and it has an illustration of the Little Mermaid on a big shell, and there's silver holographic. What would you call this? Paint trimming throughout the piece, and it's mostly done in black over a mint cover. It's very pretty, actually. It's really cute. I'm never relatable. That's what all of my potential relationships were like. But not forever, Will. Not forever. Wow, I didn't know that. It's true, yeah. How old is the story of the little yappy? It's about, the story was written 200 years ago? Let me triple check, actually. Let me triple check. Hold on. When was the Little Mermaid written? Yeah, it was written a little under 200 years ago in 1836. And it's part of his series, Fairy Tales Told for Children. We have existed throughout history. Being queer is not a new concept. Then how do we know bro was the rainbow flag emoji? He said it. We've read journals of people, we've read journals of authors that have shared their thoughts on their writing. Letters are a big one. Letters from authors to family members, that's a big one. Guppy trying to be calm and quiet, and then I hear the redeems from another streamer screaming. Doesn't sound very relaxing. But yeah, there's a lot of ways that we can find out about a person's life in the everyday interactions with those around them, whether it's through their writing, in terms of like how they wrote things, the letters, journals, anecdotes from others in their life that recount stories of how they acted. There's a lot. Queer people have existed forever, guys. This is not a new concept. There are people that have been a rainbow flag emoji long before there was even a word for the rainbow flag emoji. Long before the word homosexual came to be. That's a relatively new word. I think that word came out 20 years later. I think it was invented, like it was created in 1857. Hold on. I talked about this, and I forgot. When was the word 30 years later, 1868. So I wasn't too far off. Why are you concerned, Tenjenk? Why are we concerned? Don't believe governments. Queer people were depicted in Queer Enrollment. They were depicted even before then, Robin Jones. Yeah, it's as old as humanity. Existed forever but hidden by awful law. I yearn for the Library of Alexandria. I yearn for it. It is natural and okay. It's just like anything else in life. It just simply is. It's neither wrong nor right. It's just a part of life. And I think that neutrality is the most... What is the word? Revolutionary way to go about it, because once we accept it as something that's normal and it's just a way of being, then it doesn't come as like something wild or unheard of or something crazy. that make sense? Like, it's just simply being. The Romans and the ancient Greeks were vastly more open about things. They were and they weren't. It depends on which ancient Greeks. I should talk about this sometime. Oh my god. So like the Spartans, super 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 queer, but like the Athenians, no, not even a little bit. Except for like, how do I word this? In a way, young boys were not considered men. They were considered like a second citizen, like second class citizens. So like women, the elderly, and children were all in the same class, and then men were first class citizens. And so we'll leave it at that. And I'll actually talk about this actually on stream sometime. Rome was the birthplace of femboys. I feel so... I actually worry. I know some of them must have genuinely suffered. Like, who was it? Nero's quote-unquote wife? Technically his husband? What a poor kid. Like, I actually genuinely have such strong empathy for them, because I feel like a lot of them had no choice in the matter. Actually, this is, you know what, this is actually something I'm going to read about, or I'll talk about on stream for a presentation. I think this will be a good one. Was literally, yeah, he was insane, but he's not the only case though. Like, it was except like, how do I word this? Like, the Spartans were very about it. The Spartans were very open-minded. Romans, open-minded. The Athenians, I wish they were actually less open-minded. I wish actually they would be less open-minded about certain things and more open-minded about other things. And we'll leave it at that for now. I genuinely feel like so bad for those young kids. I have come back. Welcome back, Bomb Report. You're just in time. We're gonna start the story. Athens was weird. It was weird. It was weird. I'll do my yeah. There's a difference, Naruaro. Do a quick little search and you'll see what I mean. And then I'll actually talk about this on stream sometime, because I would like to clarify this, because I feel like these young kids are not given the empathy that they need. Okay, so The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. Are we ready? Do you have your drinks? Do you have your oh wait, let me get my blankie. Here we go. I'm in my onesie. Good thing we keep forgetting those meds. We got almost an hour and a half to yap. This is exactly why I should take my ADHD medication. Thank you for reminding me, Bomber Boy. This is exactly why. I don't know how to shut up. Far out and wide in the sea, where the water is as blue as the loveliest cornflower, and as clear as the purest crystal, where is so deep that very, very many church towers must be heaped upon another in order to reach from the lowest depth of the surface above, dwell the mer people. Safika, I'm trying to lock in. Safika in the corner, no, Pookie Bear, don't take your medication. Can I request Primal Hunter? Excuse me? What is going on? No, but I also love Yap Time. I really like talking with you guys, and it makes me happy that you guys like hanging out and talking with me. I feel guilty because in person, I have one of two settings. I either am completely silent and do not say a word and just listen, and it actually freaks out a lot of people, or I yap and I can't stop talking, and then everyone's like, okay, Guppy, shut up. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Like every job I've ever worked at, they're like, Guppy, stop yapping. Okay, we're locking in. I'm rereading the first sentence. The Little Mermaid. all of my favorite streamers have 20 to 30-minute yap time before locking in. I'm not Robin Jones's favorites. I'm cooked. I'm at an hour and a half before I started locking in. I prefer the latter, but please don't stop yapping. Okay. I love you guys too. Okay, for real this time. We're locking in for real this time. The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. Far out in the wide sea, where the water is blue as the loveliest cornflower and clear as the purest crystal, where it is so deep that very, very many church towers must be heaped upon another in order to reach from the lowest depth to the surface above, dwell the mer people. Now, you must not imagine that there is nothing but sand below the water. No, indeed, far from it. Trees and plants of wondrous beauty grow here, whose stems and leaves are so light that they are waved to and fro by the slightest motion of the water, almost as if they were living beings. Fishes, great and small, glide in and out among the branches, just as birds fly about among our trees. In the beginning. Where the water is deepest stands the palace of the Mer King. The walls of this palace are of coral, and the high pointed windows are of amber. The roof, however, is composed of mussel shells, which, as the billows pass over them, are continually opening and shutting. This looks exceedingly pretty, especially as each of these mussel shells contains a number of bright, glittering pearls, one only of which would be the most costly ornament in the diadem of a king in the upper world. Oh, these illustrations are so cute. I wish I could share them with you guys. Oh no. The Mer King, who lived in this palace, had been for many years a widower. His old mother managed the household affairs for him. She was, on the whole, a sensible sort of lady, although extremely proud of her high birth rate and station, on which account she wore 12 oysters on her tail, whilst the other inhabitants of the sea, even those of distinction, were only allowed 6. In each other respect her merited unlimited praise, especially for the affection she showed to the 6 little princesses, her granddaughters. These were all very beautiful children. The youngest was, however, the most lovely. Her skin was as soft and delicate as a rose leaf. Her eyes were of deep as blue as the sea, but like all other mermaids she had no feet. Her body ended in a tail like that of a fish. Why are you being strong right now? Why are you being strong? What does that mean? The whole day long the children used to play in the spacious apartments of the palace, where beautiful flowers grew out of the walls on all sides around them. When the great amber windows were opened, fishes would swim into those apartments as swallows fly into our rooms. But the fishes were bolder than the swallows. They swam straight up to the little princesses, ate from their hands, and allowed themselves to be caressed. What are we talking about, Narara? What do you mean? In front of the palace there was a large garden, full of fiery red and dark blue trees, whose fruit glittered like gold, and whose flowers resembled a bright burning sun. The sand that formed the soil of the garden was of a bright blue color, something like flames of sulfur, and a strangely beautiful blue was spread over the whole, so that one might have fancied oneself raised very high in the air, with the sky at once above and below, certainly not at the bottom of the sea. When the waters were quite still, the sun might be seen looking like a purple flower, out of whose cup streamed forth from the light of the world. Each of the little princesses had her own plot in the garden, where she might plant and sow at her pleasure. One chose hers to be made in the shape of a whale, another preferred the figure of a mermaid, but the youngest had hers quite round like the sun, and planted in it only those flowers that were red as the sun seemed to her. She was certainly a singular child, very quiet and thoughtful, while her sisters were adorning themselves with all sorts of gay things that came out of the ship which had been wrecked,
She asked for nothing but a beautiful white marble statue of a boy, which had been found in it. She put the statue in her garden and planted a red weeping willow by its side. The tree grew up quickly and let its long boughs fall upon the bright blue ground, where ever moving shadows played in violet hues as if boughs and root were embracing. Time flies when you are at peace. Guppy keeps me at peace. Not trying to make their ego. You guys, I have a secret. I have no ego. You guys seem to think I have an ego. I have none. Where is this coming from? Nothing pleased the little princesses more than to hear about the human beings living above the sea. She made her old grandmother tell her everything she knew about ships, towns, men, and the land animals, and was particularly pleased when she heard that the flowers of the upper world had a pleasant fragrance, for the flowers of the sea are scentless, and that the woods were green, and the fishes fluttering among the branches of various gay colors, and that they could sing with a loud, clear voice. The old lady meant birds, but she called them fishes, because her grandchildren, having never seen a bird, would not otherwise have understood her. Well, there is no evil, Guppy redeem. Sorry, no ego. You got, huh? I got no soul. What do you mean? What do you mean? When you have attained your 15th year, added she, you will be permitted to rise to the surface of the sea. You will then sit by the moonlight in the clefts of the rocks, see the ships sail by, and learn to distinguish towns and men. The next year, the eldest of the sisters reached this happy age, but the others, alas! The second sister was a year younger than the eldest, the third a year younger than the second, and so on. The youngest had still 5 whole years to wait till that joyful time should come when she also might rise to the surface of the water and see what was going on in the upper world. However, the eldest promised to tell the others of everything she might see, and when the first day of her being of age arrived, for the grandmother gave them but little information, and there was so much that they had wished to hear. But none of all the sisters longed so ardently for the day when she should be released from the childish restraint as the youngest, she who had the longest to wait and was so quiet and thoughtful. Yaora William, happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? Thank you for checking in. We're reading The Little Mermaid right now. How's your week been so far? Many a night she stood by the open window, looking through the clear blue water, whilst the fishes were leaping and playing around her. She could see the sun and the moon, and their light was pale, but they appeared larger than they do to those who live in the upper world. If a shadow passed over them, she knew it must be either a whale or a ship sailing by full of humans, who indeed little thought that far beneath them a little mermaid was passionately stretching forth her white hands towards their ship's keel. Yay, ASMR. First ASMR stream, that's right. So wait, it's morning for you, so this is perfect. It's a good way to relax in the morning. The day has now arrived when the eldest princess had attained her 15th year, and was therefore allowed to rise up to the surface of the sea. When she returned, she had 1,000 things to relate. Her chief pleasure had been to sit upon a sandbank in the moonlight, looking at the large town which lay on the coast, where the lights were beaming like stars, and where music was playing. She had heard the distant noise of men in carriages. She had seen the high church towers, and listened to the ringing of the bells. And just because she could not go there, she longed the more after all these things. No, it's 12 p.m. Okay, good afternoon then, William. How attentively did her youngest sister listen to her words, or when she next stood at night time by her open window, gazing upon through the blue waters, she thought so intensely of the great noisy city that she fancied she could hear the church bells ringing. Next year, the second sister received permission to swim wherever she pleased. She rose to the surface of the sea just when the sun was setting, and this sight so delighted her that she declared it to be more beautiful than anything else she had seen above the waters. The whole sky seemed tinged with gold, she said, and it is impossible for me to describe to you the beauty of the clouds. Now red, now violet, they glided over me, but still more swiftly flew over the rock a flock of white swans, just where the sun was descending. I looked after them, but the sun disappeared, and the bright rosy light on the surface of the sea and on the edges of the clouds was gradually extinguished. Bedtime. I love bread. The PDF I have is slightly different in grammar, but I'm reading along with you. Yay! Thank you, Bomb Report. Oh, if you guys can read along with me, that would be awesome. Then I feel less awkward reading out loud. What kind of bread did she make? I like bread. Your voice is so... Oh, thank you, Will. This is really nice of you. My voice is still one of my greater insecurities, so it makes me happy that you find it relaxing. I hear Nesquik crying in the background, waiting to be let in. IDK, let me ask. It's good narration. Yippee! Yippee! I'm so glad. I forgot where I left off. Oh, I remember. It was now time for the third sister to visit the upper world. She was the boldest of the six, and ventured up a river. On its shores she saw green hills covered with woods and vineyards, from among which arose houses and castles. She heard the birds singing, and the sun shone with so much power that she was continually obliged to plunge below in order to cool her burning face. In a little bay she met with a number of children who were bathing and jumping about. She would have joined in their gambols, but the children fled back to land in great terror, and a little black animal barked at her in such a manner that she herself was frightened at last and swam back to the sea. She could not, however, forget the green woods, the verdant hills, and the pretty children who, although they had no fins, were swimming about in the river so fearlessly. Thank you, guys. I am now comfy. I just found my streaming blanket. Mama Jones made it for me, so I was worried when I could not find it. Oh, that's so nice. That's so sweet of her. I'm so glad she made you a blanket. I want to see what it looks like. That's so sweet of her. The fourth sister was not so bold. She remained in the open sea and said on her return home that she thought nothing could be more beautiful. She had seen ships sailing by, so far off that they looked like seagulls, but she had watched the merry dolphins gambolling in the water, and the enormous whales sending up into the air 1,000 sparkling fountains. Meow. Hi, Orly. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? Is blah bread from Belgium? I have no idea what type of bread that is, Naroraro, but I like bread. Thank you for checking in, Orly. How are you today, Meow? Eating. What are you eating for dinner today? We're reading book. You hear the pages of the book? Or the hardcover? It's Orly. It's Orly time, guys. It's delicious, I can confirm. Oh, now I'm getting hungry. I had a small dinner. Oh no. Bacon chicken ranch wrap? Oh, that sounds so good. Wait a minute. I want chicken. Oh, I love chicken. Oh no. The year after, the fifth sister attained her 15th year. Her birthday happened at a different season to that of her sisters. It was winter. The sea was of a green color, and immense icebergs were floating on its surface. These, she said, looked like pearls. They were, however, much larger than the church towers in the land of the human beings. She sat down upon one of these pearls and let the wind play along with her long hair. But then all the ships hoisted their sails in terror and escaped as quickly as possible. In the evening the sky was covered with sails, and whilst the great mountains of the ice alternatively sank and rose again and beamed with a reddish glow, flashes of lightning burst forth from the clouds, and the thunder rolled on, peal after peal. The sails of all the ships were instantly furled, and the horror and affright reigned on board. But the princess sat still on the iceberg, looking unconcernedly at the blue zigzag of the flashes. Taster! Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? It's not my bedtime. But you want to get cozy, right? You want to get cozy with me and read The Little Mermaid together? Wow. I had herb chicken Mediterranean pizza. Oh my god, guys, you're making me hungry. No. No. Oh, how's your week been, Taster? How are you today? So exquisite. Exquisite. Exquisite? Exquisite? I'm eating some chicken. Guys, this is foul. Guys, this is actually, it makes me happy that you're eating dinner along with me. That makes me very happy to know that you're eating dinner and relaxing and taking care of yourselves. That makes me happy. I'm okay with this. Chicken is foul? Ha, I see what you did there, Comfy Magus. Okay. Ooh. I lost where I was at. Oh no. The first time that either of these sisters rose out of the sea, she was quite enchanted at the sight of so many new and beautiful objects. But the novelty was soon over, and it was not long ere their own home appeared more attractive than the upper world, for there only did they find everything agreeable. Many an evening would the five sisters rise hand in hand from the depths of the oceans. Their voices were far sweeter than any human voice, and when a storm was coming on, they would sing in front of the ships, and sing, oh, how sweetly did they sing, describing the happiness of those who lived at the bottom of the sea, and entreating the sailors not to be afraid, but to come down and join them. I'm so sorry. The mariners, however, did not understand their words. They fancied the song was only the whistling of the wind, and thus they lost the hidden glories of the sea. For if their ships were wrecked, all on board were drowned, and none but dead men ever entered the Mer-King's palace. Whilst the sisters were swimming at evening time, the youngest would remain motionless and alone in her father's palace, looking up after them. She would have wept, but mermaids cannot weep, and therefore when they are troubled they suffer infinitely more than human beings do. Oh, if I were but 15, she sighed. I know that I would love the upper world and its inhabitants so much. At last the time she had so longed for arrived. Well, now it is your turn, said the grandmother. Come here, that I may adorn you like your sisters. And she wound her hair a wreath of white lilies, whose every petal was half of a pearl, and then commanded 8 large oysters to fasten themselves to the princess's tail in token of her high rank. But that is so very uncomfortable, said the princess. One must not mind slight inconveniences when one wishes to look well, said the old lady. How willingly would the princess have given up all of this splendor and exchanged her heavy crown for the red flowers of her garden, which were so much more becoming to her. But she dared not do so. Farewell, she said, and rose the sea like, oh, Will, thank you for the bitty bites. I want some sushi now. Sushi is also good. Ooh, sushi's also good. Skipped lunch and had a little sleep. Well, get ready for bed, Bomberport. I'm trying to get you cozy for bed. It's bedtime. Farewell, she said, and rose from the sea, light as a flake of foam. When, for the first time in her life, she appeared on the surface of the water, the sun had just sunk below the horizon, the clouds were beaming with a bright golden and rosy hues, the evening star was shining in the pale western sky, the air was mild and refreshing, and the sea as smooth as a looking-glass. A large ship with 3 masts lay on the still waters. One sail only was unfurled, but not a breath was stirring, and the sailors were quietly seated on the cordage and the ladders of the vessel. Music and song resounded from the deck, and after it grew dark, hundreds of lamps all on a sudden burst forth into light, whilst innumerable flags were fluttering overhead. Zzz. Are you sleeping, Aurora? Are you getting ready for bed? Are you so sleepy? Ooh. Hong Shu Mimi, Hong Shu Mimi. The little mermaid swam close up to the captain's cabin, and every now and then, when the ship was raised by the motion of the water, she could look through the clear window panes. She saw within many richly dressed men. The handsomest among them was a young prince with large black eyes. He could not certainly be more than 16 years old, and it was in honor of his birthday that a grand festival was being celebrated. The crew were dancing on the deck, and when the young prince appeared among them, 100 rockets were sent up in the air, turning night into day, and so terrifying the little mermaid that for some minutes she plunged beneath the water. However, she soon raised her little head again, and then it seemed as if all the stars were falling down upon her. Such a fiery shower that she had never seen before. Never had she heard that men possessed such wonderful powers. Large suns revolved around her, bright fishes swam in the air, and everything was reflected perfectly on the clear surface of the sea. It was so light in the ship that everything could be seen distinctly. Oh, how happy the young prince was! He shook hands with the sailors, laughed and jested with them, while sweet notes of music mingled with the silence of the night. Oh, you're definitely not sleeping anytime soon, Will. Oh no, that's a lot. Oh my god, that's a lot. That's actually kind of crazy. Is that your prescribed amount? I think I don't even take more than 20 a day. Otherwise I start like zooming. It was late now, but the little mermaid could not tear herself away from the ship and the handsome young prince. She remained looking through the cabin window, rocked to and fro by the waves. There was a foaming and fermentation in the depths beneath, and the ship began to move on faster. The sails were spread, the waves rose high, thick clouds gathered over the sky, and the noise of distant thunder was heard. The sailors perceived that a storm was coming on, so they again furled their sails. The great vessel was tossed about on the tempestuous ocean like a light boat, and the waves rose to an immense height, towering over the ship, which alternately sank beneath and rose above them. To the little mermaid this seemed most delightful, but the ship's crew thought very differently. The vessel cracked, the stout masts bent under the violence of the billows, the waters rushed in. For a minute the ship tottered to and fro, then the mainmast broke, as if it had been reed. The ship turned over and was filled with water. The little mermaid now perceived that the crew was in danger, for she herself was forced to beware the beams and splinters torn from the vessel and floating about on the waves. But at the same time it became pitch dark, so that she could not distinguish anything. Presently, however, a dreadful flash of lightning disclosed to her the whole wreck. Her eyes sought the young prince. The same instant the ship sank to the bottom. At first she was delighted, thinking that the prince must now come to her abode, but soon she remembered that the man cannot live in water, and that therefore, if the prince ever entered her palace, it would be as a corpse. Die? No, he must not die. She swam through the fragments with which the waters was strewn, regardless of the danger she was incurring, and at last found the prince all but exhausted, and with great difficulty keeping his head above water. He had already closed his eyes, and must inevitably have been drowned, had it not the little mermaid come to his rescue. She seized hold of him and kept him above water, suffering the current to bear them on together. 30 milligrams. Oh, okay. No, I just take 3 a day because 2... Holy moly. Holy moly, that's a lot. Will, please be careful. That's very scary. You have a very high tolerance for it. Oh my goodness. A little sip. I'm dehydrated. Towards morning the storm was hushed. No trace, however, remained of the ship. The sun rose like fire out of the sea. His beams seemed to restore color to the prince's cheeks, but his eyes were still closed. The mermaid kissed his high forehead and stroked his wet hair away from his face. He looked like the marble statue in her garden. She kissed him again and wished most fervently that he might recover. She now saw the dry land with its mountains glittering with snow. A green wood extended along the coast, and at the entrance of the wood stood a chapel or convent. She could not be sure which. Citron and lemon trees grew in the garden adjoining it. An avenue of tall palm trees led up to the door. The sea here formed a little bay, in which the water was quite smooth but very deep, and under the cliffs there were dry, firm sands. Hither swam the little mermaid with the seemingly dead prince. She laid him upon the warm sand, and took care to place his head high, and to turn his face to the sun. The bells began to ring in the large white building which stood before her, and a number of young girls came out to walk in the garden. The mermaid went away from the shore, hid herself behind some stones, covered her head with foam so that her little face could not be seen, and watched the prince with unremitting attention. It was not long before one of the young girls approached. She seemed quite frightened oh my goodness. It was not long before one of the young girls approached. She seemed quite frightened at finding the prince in this state, apparently dead. Soon, however, she recovered herself and ran back to call her sisters. The little mermaid saw that the prince revived, and that all around smiled kindly and joyfully upon him. For her, however, he looked not. He knew that it was not she who had saved him, and when the prince was taken into the house, she felt so sad that she immediately plunged beneath the water and returned to her father's palace. Wow. Oh, this illustration is so pretty. I gotta send you guys the illustrations on Discord. She is sad. This is actually a very sad story. If she had been before quiet and thoughtful, she now grew still more so. Her sisters asked her what she had seen in the upper world, but she had made no answer. Many an evening she rose to the palace where she had left the prince. She saw the snow on the mountains melt, the fruit in the garden ripen and gathered, but the prince she never saw, so she always returned sorrowfully to her subterranean abode. Her only pleasure was to sit in her little garden gazing on the beautiful statue so like the prince. She cared no longer for her flowers. They grew up in wild luxuriance, covered the steps, and entwined their long stems and tendrils among the boughs of the trees, so that her whole garden became a bower. At last, being unable to conceal her sorrow any longer, she revealed the secret to one of her sisters, who told it to the other princesses, and they to some of their friends. Among them was a young mermaid who recollected the prince, having been an eyewitness herself to the festivities in the ship. She knew also in what country the prince lived and the name of its king. Did you know that caffeine can have a focusing effect on people with ADHD? Yes. Yes, I did. Ooh, I need a stretch. Who spilled the tea? Everyone did. Everyone spilled the tea. She trusted her sister, and her sister told her other sisters, and then her sisters told their friends, and everyone eventually found out. "Come, little sister," said the princesses, and embracing her, they rose together arm in arm out of the water just in front of the prince's palace. This palace was built of bright yellow stones. A flight of white marble steps led from it down to the sea. A gilded cupola crowned the building, and white marble figures, which might almost have been taken for real men and women, were placed among the pillars surrounding it. Through the clear glass of the high windows, one might look into magnificent apartments hung with silken curtains, the walls adorned with magnificent paintings. It was a real treat to the little royal mermaids to behold so splendid an abode. They gazed through the windows of one of the largest rooms, and in the center saw a fountain playing, whose water sprang up so high as to reach the glittering cupola above, through which the sunbeams fell dancing on the water, and brightening the pretty plants which grew around it. This is working. But it's too early. It's not too early. What the heck? I think this is a respectable time to start getting ready for bed. The little mermaid now knew where her beloved prince dwelt, and henceforth she went there almost every evening. She often approached nearer the land than her sisters had ventured, and even swam up the narrow channel that flowed under the marble balcony. Here, on a bright moonlit night, she would watch the young prince who believed himself alone. Sometimes she saw him sailing on the water in a gaily painted boat with many colored flags waving above. She would then hide among the green weeds which grew on the banks, listening to his voice, and if any one in the boat noticed the rustling of her long silver veil, which was caught now and then by the light breeze, they only fancied it as a swan flapping his wings. Many a night when the fishermen were casting their nets by the beacon's light, she heard them talking of the prince and relating the noble actions he had performed. She was then so happy, thinking how she had saved his life when struggling with the waves, and remembering how his head had rested on her bosom, and how she had kissed him when he knew nothing of it, and could never dream of such a thing. Human beings became more and more dear to her every day. She wished that she was one of them. Her world seemed to her much larger than that of the mer people. They could fly over the ocean in their ships, as well as climb to the summits of those high mountains that rose above the clouds, and their wooded domains extended much farther than a mermaid's eye could penetrate. There were many things that she wished to hear explained, but her sisters could not give her any satisfactory answer. She was again obliged to have recourse to the old Queen Mother, who knew a great deal about the upper world, which she used to call the country above the sea. "Do men, when they are not drowned, live forever?" she asked one day. "Do they not die as we do, who live at the bottom of the sea?" "Yes," was grandmother's reply. "They must die like us, and their life is so much shorter than ours. We live to the age of 300 years, but when we die, we become foam on the sea, and are not allowed to even share a grave among others that are dear to us. We are no immortal souls. We can never live again, and are like grass which once cut down is withered forever. Human beings, on the contrary, have souls that continue to live when their bodies become dust. And as we rise out of the water to admire the abode of man, they ascend to glorious unknown dwellings in the sky, which we are not permitted to see. Why have not we immortal souls?" asked the little mermaid. "I would willingly give up my 300 years to be a human being for only one day, thus to become entitled to that heavenly world above." "You must not think like that," answered the grandmother. "It is much better as it is. We live longer and are far happier than human beings. So I must die and be dashed like foam over the sea, never to rise again and hear the gentle murmur of the ocean, never again see the beautiful flowers and the bright sun? Tell me, dear grandmother, are there no means by which I may obtain an immortal soul?" "No," the old lady replied. "It is true that if thou couldst do so win the affections of a human being as to become dearer to him than either father or mother, if he loved thee with all his heart and promised, whilst the priest joined his hands with thine, to always be faithful to thee, then his soul would flow into thine, and thou wouldst become partaker of human bliss. But that can never be. For what in our eyes is most beautiful part of our body, the tail, the inhabitants of the earth think hideous. They cannot bear it. To appear handsome to them, the body must have two clumsy props which they call legs." The little mermaid sighed, and looked mournfully at the scaly part of her form, otherwise so fair and delicate. "We are happy," the old lady added. "We shall jump and swim about merrily for 300 years. That is a long time, and afterwards we shall repose peacefully in death. This evening we have court ball." Oh, I need air. It is sad, isn't it? I'm gonna take this moment to use the Little Mermaid's room, actually, as a little break. Why are you crying, Noraro? Don't cry. Well, thank you for the hype. Yeah, I also need water. And I am shrimping. I need to stretch. So I'm gonna take a quick break and come right back, okay? Okay? What? Meow. Meow. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, okay? Hello, I'm back. Did everyone get water? Did everyone stretch? Did you get a little snack? Thank you so much for waiting. I really appreciate it. I love that Lulu emote. It's so cute. Hello, Valentis. Hello, Will. I've had to hunch over this whole stream to get really close to the mic. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it in my back. Cute plushie. It's plushie time. Woashim. Hi, Woashim. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? Wow. Wow. It's plushie hours. So that way you guys get cozy and go to bed. Your sleeping habits are terrifying me. I'm very concerned. Oh, there go my glasses. That's okay. You can have... Oh, wait. I can't actually read without my glasses. This is hard. I'm already struggling as it is with them. Where did I leave off? Here. The ball which the Queen Mother spoke of was far more splendid than any that Earth had ever seen. Wow! Wow! The walls of the saloon were of crystal, very thick, but yet very clear. Hundreds of large mussel shells were planted in rows along them. These shells were some of the rose-colored, some green as grass, but all sending forth a bright light, which not only illuminated the whole apartment, but also shone through the glassy walls as to light up the waters around for a great space, and making the scales of numberless fishes, great and small, crimson and purple, silver and gold-colored, appear more brilliant than ever. Wow! Did you drink some water? Did you guys stretch? Thank you, Poker. Through the center of the saloon flowed a bright, clear stream, on the surface of which danced mermen and mermaids to the melody of their own sweet voices, voices far sweeter than those of the dwellers upon earth. But remember, guys, they're not born with it. They practice really hard to get there. Garrick! Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? Thank you for checking in. How are you? Went to see Weon and Pippa for a bit. Pippa, how are they? What are they up to? How's your week been so far, Garrick? Thank you for checking in, meow. Yapping, real. What? Doing well, made cat food this morning. Thank you for the sub, Garrick, for 6 months. What? Did they like the food you made them? Did the baby like the food? What did you make them? I missed the ASMR stream. No, it's still happening. We're only halfway in the story, no worries. Hi, Jackson. Happy Whimsical Whale Wednesday. How are you today? You didn't miss, I promise. We're only halfway through. If you'd like, I can keep going. Baby did. Older cats seem to tolerate it. Oh no. I guess older cats tend to, what is it? They're set in their ways. They know what they like and they want to keep it that way. How's your week been so far, Jackson? How are you? Through the center of the saloon flowed a bright, clear stream, on the surface of which danced... Oh, there we go. The little princess sang more harmoniously than any other, and they clapped their hands and applauded her. She was pleased at this, for she knew well that there was neither on earth or in sea a more beautiful voice than hers. But her thoughts soon returned to the world above her. She could not forget the handsome prince. She could not control her sorrow at not having an immortal soul. She stole away from her father's palace, and whilst all was joy within, she alone lost in thought in her little neglected garden. On a sudden she heard the tones of horns surrounding over the sea far away in the distance, and she said to herself, now he is going out to hunt, he whom I love more than my father and my mother, with whom my thoughts are constantly occupied, and to whom I would so willingly trust happiness of my life. All will I risk to win him, and an immortal soul. Whilst my sisters are still dancing in the palace, I will go to the enchantress, whom I have hitherto feared so much, but who is nevertheless the only person who can advise and help me." So the little mermaid left the garden and went to the foaming whirlpool beyond which dwelt the enchantress. She had never been this way before. Neither flowers nor sea grass bloomed along her path. She had to traverse an extent of bare gray sand till she reached the whirlpool, whose waters were eddying and whizzing like mill wheels, tearing everything they could seize along with them into the abyss below. She was obliged to make her way through this horrible place in order to arrive at the territory of the enchantress. Then she had to pass through a boiling, slimy bog, which the enchantress called her turf moor. Her house stood in a wood beyond this, and a strange abode it was. All the trees and bushes around were polypi, looking like 100-headed serpents shooting up out of the ground. Their branches were long, slimy arms with fingers of worms, every member, from the root to the utmost tip, ceaselessly moving and extending on all sides. Whatever they seized, they fastened upon so that it could not loosen itself from their grasp. The little mermaid stood still for a minute, looking at this horrible wood. Her heart beat with fear, and she would certainly have returned without attaining her object, had she not remembered the prince and immortality. The thought gave her new courage. She bound up her long waving hair that the polypi might not catch hold of it, crossed her delicate arms over her bosom, and, swifter than a fish can glide through water, she passed these unseemly trees who stretched their eager arms after her in vain. She could not, however, help seeing that every polypus had something in his grasp, held as firmly by 1,000 little arms as if enclosed by iron bands. The whitened skeletons of a number of human beings who had been drowned in the sea and had sunk into the abyss grinned horribly from the arms of these polypi. Helms, chests, skeletons of land animals were also in their embrace. Among other things might be seen even a little mermaid whom they had seized and strangled. What a fearful sight for the unfortunate princess. I need water. 1 minute, please. But she got safely through the wood of the horrors, and then arrived at the slimy place where immense fat snails were crawling about, and in the midst of this palace stood a house built of the bones of the unfortunate people who had been shipwrecked. Here sat the witch, caressing a toad in the same manner as some persons would pet a bird. The ugly fat snails she called her chickens, and she permitted them to crawl about her. "I know well what you would ask of me," she said to the little princess. "Your wish is foolish enough, yet it shall be fulfilled, though its accomplishment is sure to bring misfortune on you, my fairest princess. You wish to get rid of your tail, and to have instead 2 stilts like those of human beings, in order that a young prince may fall in love with you, and that you may obtain an immortal soul. Is it not so?" Whilst the witch spoke these words, she laughed so violently that her pet toad and snails fell from her lap. "You come just at the right time," she continued. "Had you come after sunset, it would have not been in my power to have helped you before another year. I will prepare for you a drink with which you must swim to land. You must sit down upon the shore and swallow it, and then your tail will fall and shrink up to the things which men call legs. This transformation will, however, be very painful. You will feel as though a sharp knife passed through your body. All who look on you after you have thus been changed will say that you are the loveliest child of earth they have ever seen. You will retain your peculiar undulating movements, and no dancer will move so lightly, but every step you take will cause you pain all but unbearable. It will seem to you as though you are walking on the sharp edges of swords, and your blood will flow." I'm not a fan of sleeping in the sand, but the siren's word. No, sleeping in the sand is comfy. I think it's pretty comfy. I fall asleep at the beach all the time. Good night, Naroraro. Take care. Oyasunimid. Back to work for me. Thank you for the story. Good luck at work today, Garrick. I hope it goes well and no stress. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a lovely night today. Wow. Can you endure all this suffering? If so, I will grant your request. Yes, I will, answered the princess, with a faltering voice, for she remembered her dear prince and the immortal soul which her suffering might win. Only consider, said the witch, that you can never again become a mermaid. When once you have received a human form, you may never return to your sisters and your father's palace, and unless you shall win the prince's love to such a degree that he shall leave father and mother for you, that you shall be mixed up with all of his thoughts and wishes, and unless the priests join your hands so that you may become man and wife, you will never obtain the immortality you seek. The morrow of the day on which he is united to another will see your death. Your heart will break with sorrow, and you will be changed to foam on the sea. Still I will venture, said the little mermaid, pale and trembling as a dying person. Besides all this, I must be paid, and it is no slight thing that I require for my trouble. Thou hast the sweetest voice of all the dwellers in the sea, and thou thinkest by its means to charm the prince. This voice, however, I demand as my recompense. The best thing thou possessest I require in exchange for my magic drink, for I shall be obliged to sacrifice my own blood in order to give it the sharpness of a two-edged sword. But if you were to take my voice from me, said the princess, what have I left with which to charm the prince? Thy graceful form, replied the witch, thy modest gait, and speaking eyes. With such as these it will be easy to infatuate a vain human heart. Well now, hast thou lost courage? Put out thy little tongue, that I may cut it off and take it for myself, and in return for my magic drink. Be it so, said the princess, and the witch took up her cauldron in order to mix her potion. Cleanliness is a good thing, remarked she, as she began to rub the cauldron with a handful of toads and snails. She then scratched her bosom and let the black blood trickle down into the cauldron, every moment throwing new ingredients, the smoke from the mixture assuming such horrible forms as we were enough to fill beholders with terror, and a moaning, groaning proceeding from it, which might be compared to the weeping of crocodiles. A magic drink at length became clear and transparent as pure water. It was ready. Here it is, said the witch to the princess, cutting out her tongue at the same moment. The poor little mermaid was now dumb. She could neither sing nor speak. If the polypi should attempt to seize you as you pass through my little grove, said the witch, you only have to sprinkle some of this magic drink over them, and their arms will burst into 1,000 pieces. But the princess had no need of this counsel, for the polypi drew hastily back as soon as they perceived the bright vial that glittered in her hand like a star. Thus she passed through the formidable wood over the moor and across the foaming millstream. This drawing is pretty too. Wow. She now looked once again at her father's palace. The lamps of the saloon were extinguished, and all the family were asleep. She would not go in, for she could not speak if she did. She was about to leave home forever. Her heart was ready to break with the sorrow at the thought. She stole into the garden, plucked a flower from the bed of each of her sisters as remembrance, kissed her hand again and again, and then rose through the dark blue waters to the world above. The sun had not yet risen when she arrived at the prince's dwelling, and ascended those well-known marble steps. The moon still shone in the sky when the little mermaid drank off the wonderful liquid contained in her vial. She felt it run through her like a sharp knife, and she fell down in a swoon. When the sun rose, she awoke, and felt a burning pain in all of her limbs. But she saw standing close to her the object of her love, the handsome young prince, whose coal-black eyes were fixed inquiringly. It is now feeding time for the children. Let me... Shh. Okay, we're so back. I forgot where I was. Oh, were fixed inquiringly upon her. Full of shame, she cast down her own, and perceived instead of the long fish-like tail, she had hitherto borne 2 slender legs.
but she was quite naked and tried in vain to cover herself with her long thick hair. The prince asked who she was and how she got there, and she in reply smiled and gazed upon him with her bright blue eyes, for alas, she could not speak. He then led her by the hand into the palace. She found that the witch had told her true. She felt as though she were walking on the edges of sharp swords, but she bore the pain willingly. On she passed as light as a zephyr, and all who saw her wondered at her light undulating movements. When she entered the palace, rich clothes of muslin and silk were brought to her. She was lovelier than all who dwelt there. But she could neither speak nor sing. Some female slaves, gaily dressed in silk and gold brocade, sang before the prince and his royal parents. One of them distinguished herself by her clear, sweet voice, which the prince applauded by clapping his hands. This made the little mermaid very sad, for which she knew that she used to sing far better than the young slave. Alas, she thought, if he did but know that, for his sake I have given away my voice forever. The slaves began to dance. Our lovely little mermaiden then arose, stretching out her delicate white arms, and hovered gracefully about the room. Every motion displayed more and more than perfect symmetry and elegance of her figure, and the expression of which in her speaking eyes touched the hearts of the spectators far more than the songs of the slaves. All present were enchanted, but especially the young prince, who called her his dear little foundling. She danced again and again, although every step cost her excessive pain. The prince then said she should always be with him, and accordingly a sleeping place was prepared for her on velvet cushions in the anteroom of his own apartment. The prince caused a suite of male apparel to be made for her, in order that she might accompany him in his rides. So together they traversed the fragrant woods, where green boughs brushed against their shoulders, and the birds sang merrily among the fresh leaves. With him she climbed up steep mountains, and although her tender feet bled so as to be remarked by the attendants, she only smiled and followed her dear prince to the heights, whence they could see the clouds chasing each other beneath them, like a flock of birds migrating to other countries. During the night, when all in the palace were rest, walked down the marble steps in order to cool her feet in the deep waters. She would then think of those beloved ones who dwelt in the lower world. One night, as she was thus bathing her feet, her sisters swam together to the spot, arm in arm, singing, but alas, so mournfully. She beckoned to them, and they immediately recognized her and told her how great was the mourning in her father's house for her loss. From this time, the sisters visited her every night, and once they brought with them the old grandmother who had not seen the upper world for a great many years. They likewise brought their father, the Mer-King, with his crown on his head, but these two old people did not venture near enough to land to be able to speak to her. I'm not sleepy, Jan. You are sleepy. I am actually pretty sleepy today, so I'm excited for ASMR. Little brain power. But it's okay to be sleepy. That's the whole point. I want you guys to sleep and relax and get a good night's rest for once. I am in fact shrimping, Will. But unfortunately, I have to shrimp to get close to the mic for this. The little mermaiden became dearer and dearer to the prince every day, but he only looked upon her as a sweet, gentle child, and the thought of making her his wife never entered his mind. And yet his wife she must be, or she could receive an immortal soul. His wife she must be, or she would change into foam and be driven restlessly over the billows of the sea. Oh, thank you for the head pats. It is sad. This is a very sad story, but it's also like, what is the word? It's like a caution of limerence, and also being grateful for what you have. Because does she really love the prince, or does she love the idea of immortality? Because that's always brought up every time the prince is brought up, and sometimes often brought up before the prince. Just something to note. The little mermaiden became... Oh wait. Dost thou not love me above all others? Her eyes seemed to ask, as he pressed her fondly in his arms and kissed her lovely brow. Yes, the prince would say, thou art dearer to me than any other, for no one is as good as thou art. Thou lovest me so much, and thou art like a young maiden whom I have seen but once, and may never see again. I was on board a ship which was wrecked by a sudden tempest. The waves threw me on the shore, near a holy temple where a number of young girls are occupied constantly with religious services. The youngest of them found me on the shore and saved my life. I only saw her once, but her image is vividly impressed upon my memory, and her alone can I love, but she belongs to the holy temple, and thou who rememberest her so much has been given to me for consolation. Never will we be parted. Alas, he does not know that it was I who saved his life, thought the little mermaid and sighed deeply. I bore him over the wild waves into the wooded bay where the holy temple stood. I sat behind the rocks, waiting till some one should come. I saw the pretty maiden approach whom he loves more than me, and again she heaved a deep sigh, for she could not weep. He said that the young girl belongs to the holy temple. She never comes out into the world, so they cannot meet each other again, and I am always with him, see him daily. I will love him and devote my whole life to him. So the prince is going to be married to the beautiful daughter of the neighboring king, said the courtiers. That is why he is having the splendid ship fitted out. It is announced that he wishes to travel, but in reality he goes to see the princess. A numerous retinue will accompany him. The little maiden smiled at these and similar conjectures, for she knew the prince's intentions better than anyone else. I must go, he said to her. I must see the beautiful princess. My parents require me to do so, but they will not compel me to marry her and bring her home as my bride. It is quite impossible for me to love her, for she cannot be so like the beautiful girl in the Tempest as thou art. And if I were obliged to choose, I should prefer thee, my little silent foundling with speaking eyes. He kissed her rosy lips, played with her locks, and folded her in his arms, whereupon arose in her heart a sweet vision of human happiness and immortal bliss.
I need water. Ooh. Excuse me. I need a straw. Ugh.
Thou art not afraid of the sea, art thou, my sweet silent child? Asked he tenderly, as he stood together in the splendid ship, which was to take them to the country of the neighboring king. And then he told her of the storms that sometimes agitate the waters, of the strange fishes that inhabit the deep, and of the wonderful things seen by divers. But she smiled at his words, for she knew better than any child of earth what went on in the depths of the ocean. At night time, when the moon shone brightly and when all aboard were fast asleep, she sat in the ship's gallery looking down at the sea. It seemed to her, as she gazed through the foamy track made by the ship's keel, that she saw her father's palace and her grandmother's silver crown. She then saw her sisters rise out of the water, looking sorrowful and stretching out their hands towards her. She nodded to them, smiled, and would have explained that everything was going on quite according to her wishes. But just then the cabin boy approached, upon which the sisters plunged beneath the water so suddenly that the boy thought he had seen on the waves was nothing but foam. The next morning the ship entered the harbor of the king's splendid capital. The bells were rung, trumpets sounded, and soldiers marched in the procession through the city, with waving banners and glittering bayonets. Every day witnessed some new entertainments. Balls and parties followed each other. The princess, however, was not yet in town. She had been sent to a distant convent for education, and had there been taught the practice of all royal virtues. At last she arrived at the palace. The little mermaid had been anxious to see this unparalleled princess, and she was now obliged to confess that she had never seen so beautiful a creature. The skin of the princess was so white and delicate that the veins might be seen through it, and her dark eyes sparkled beneath a pair of finely formed eyebrows. "It is herself," exclaimed the prince when they met. "It is she who saved my life, when I lay like a corpse on the seashore." And he pressed his blushing bride to his beating heart. "Oh, I am all too happy," said he to his dumb foundling. "What I never dared to hope has come to pass. Thou must rejoice in my happiness, for thou lovest me more than all others who surround me." And the little mermaid kissed his hand in silent sorrow. It seemed to her as if her heart was breaking already. Although the morrow of his marriage day which must inevitably see her death, had not been donned. Again rung the church bells, whilst heralds rode through the streets of the capital to announce the approaching bridal. Odorous flames burned the silver candlesticks on the altars, the priests swung their golden censers, and the bride and bridegroom joined hands, whilst the holy words that united them were spoken. The little mermaid, clad in silk and cloth of gold, stood behind the princess and held the train of the bridal dress, but her ear heard nothing of the solemn music. Her eye saw not the holy ceremony. She remembered her approaching end. She remembered that she had lost both this world and the next. The very same evening, bride and bridegroom went on board the ship. Cannons were fired, flags waved with the breeze, and in the center of the deck stood a magnificent pavilion of purple and cloth of gold, fitted with the richest and softest couches. Here the princely pair were to spend the night. A favorable wind swelled the sails, and the ship glided through over the blue waters. As soon as it was dark, colored lamps were hung out and dancing began on deck. The little mermaid was thus involuntarily reminded of what she had seen the first time she rose to the upper world. A spectacle that now presented itself was equally splendid, and she was obliged to join in the dance, hovering lightly as a bird over the ship's boards. Eepy eepy now for real? Yay! Good! Good night, Nororaro. Take care. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you get lots of rest and you have sweet dreams. Welcome back, William. Kia ora. All applauded her, for never had she danced with more enchanting grace. Her little feet suffered extremely, but she no longer felt the pain. The anguish in her heart suffered was much greater. It was the last evening she might see him, for whose sake she had forsaken her home and all her family, had given away her beautiful voice, and suffered daily the most violent pain, all without his having the least suspicion of it. Oh yeah, I forgot this is Throwback Thursday for you. Happy Throwback Thursday, William. It was the last evening that she might breathe the same atmosphere in which he, the beloved one, lived. The last evening that she might behold the deep blue sea and the starry heaven. An eternal night in which she might neither think nor dream awaited her. And all was joy in the ship, and she, her heart filled with thoughts of death and annihilation, smiled and danced with the others till past midnight. Then the prince kissed his lovely bride, and arm in arm they entered the magnificent tent prepared for their repose. All was now still. The steersman alone stood at the ship's helm. The little mermaid leaned her white arms on the gallery and looked towards the east, watching for dawn. She well knew that the first sunbeam she would witness is her dissolution. She saw her sisters rise out of the sea. Deadly pale were their features, and their long hair no more fluttered over their shoulders. It had been cut off. "We have given it to the witch," they said, "to induce her to help thee, so that thou mayest not die. She has given to us a penknife. Here it is. Before the sun rises, thou must plunge it into the prince's heart, and when his warm blood trickles down upon thy feet, they will again be changed like a fish-like tail. Thou will once more become a mermaid, and wilt live thy full 300 years, ere thou changes to foam on the sea. But hasten, either he or thou must die before sunrise. Our aged mother mourns for thee so much her gray hair has fallen off through sorrow, as ours fell before the scissors of the witch. Kill the prince, and come down to us. Hasten, hasten. Dost thou not see the red streaks on the eastern sky, announcing the near approach of the sun? A few minutes more and he rises, and then all will be over for thee." At these words they sighed deeply and vanished. The little mermaid drew inside the purple curtains of the pavilion, where lay the bride and bridegroom. Bending over them, she kissed the prince's forehead, and then glancing at the sky, she saw the dawning light become every moment brighter. The prince's lips unconsciously murmured the name of his bride. He was dreaming of her, and her only, whilst the fatal penknife trembled in the hand of the unhappy mermaid. All at once she threw far out into the sea the instrument of death. The waves rose like bright blazing flames around, and the water where it fell seemed tinged with blood. With eyes fast becoming dim and fixed, She looked once more at her beloved prince, then plunged from the ship into the sea, and felt her body slowly but surely dissolving into foam. The sun rose from his watery bed. His beams fell so softly and warmly upon her that our little mermaid was scarcely sensible of dying. She still saw the glorious sun, and overhead hovered 1,000 beautiful transparent forms. She could still distinguish the white sails of the ship and the bright red clouds of the sky. The voices of those airy creatures above her had a melody so sweet and soothing that a human ear would be as little able to catch the sound as her eye was capable of distinguishing their forms. They hovered around her without wings, borne by their own lightness through the air. The little mermaid at last saw that she had a body as transparent as theirs, and felt herself gradually from the foam of the sea to higher regions. "Where are they taking me?" she asked. Her words sounded just like the voices of those heavenly beings. "Speak you to the daughters of air," was the answer. "The mermaid has no immortal soul, and can only acquire that heavenly gift by winning the love of one of the sons of men. For immortality depends upon the union with man. Neither do the daughters of air possess immortal souls, but they can acquire them by their own good deeds. We fly to hot countries where the children of earth are sinking under sultry Castilian breezes. Our fresh, cooling breath revives them. We diffuse ourselves through the atmosphere. We perfume it with the delicious fragrance of the flowers, and thus spread a delight and health over the earth. By doing good in this manner, for 300 years we win immortality, and receive a share of the eternal bliss of human beings. And thou, poor little mermaid, who, following the impulse of thine own heart, hast done and suffered so much that thou art now raised into the airy world of the spirits, that by performing deeds of kindness for 300 years thou mayest acquire an immortal soul." The little mermaid stretched out her transparent arms to the sun, and for the first time in her life tears moistened her eyes. And now again all were awake and rejoicing in the ship. She saw the prince with his pretty bride. They had missed her. They looked sorrowfully down on the foamy waters as if they knew she had plunged into the sea. Unseen, she kissed the bridegroom's forehead, smiled upon him, and then, with the rest of the children of air, soared high above the rosy cloud which was sailing so peacefully over the ship. After 300 years we shall fly in the kingdom of heaven. "We may arrive there ever sooner," whispered one of the sisters. "We fly invisibly through the dwellings of men, where there are children, and whenever we find a good child who gives pleasure to his parents and deserves their love, good God shortens our time of probation. No child is aware that we are flitting about his room, and that whenever joy draws from us a smile, a year is struck out of our 300. But when we see a rude, naughty child, we weep bitter tears of sorrow, and every tear we shed adds a day to our time of probation." And that is the end of The Little Mermaid. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Did you like it? Have you guys read the original Little Mermaid before? Man, I just woke up from a sleepy, and now I want to go back to sleep. That means I'm doing a good job. Yay! That makes me happy. I loved it. Yep, never read the original story though. Nope, never read it. It's a very sad story. It's very bittersweet. I love all of Andersen's work. This is basically his entire anthology of fairy tales for kids. So any movie, like, grew up with the Disney version, yeah, any movie that you've seen of Disney, or even Barbie, I don't know. Let me read to you all of the ones he's written. Thumbelina, Little Mermaid, Thumbelina, The Snow Queen, Elfin Mount, The Marsh King's Daughter, The Storks, The Nightingale, The Wild Swans, The Princess and the Pea, The Red Shoes, The Emperor's New Clothes, The Swineherd, The Flying Trunk, The Leaping Match, The Shepherdess and the Chimney Sweeper, The Ugly Duckling, and The Naughty Boy. I think this could be fun to go through for ASMR sleeping streams, don't you think? Yeah? But I'll send the illustrations over in the Discord. I think they're very lovely. There's a lot of There's a lot of love put into this. It's very sweet. I love it. Yay, me too. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me. Let me get a little stretch in. I've been shrimping the whole time. I don't know if we'll have enough time to read another one. I didn't realize how late it got already. I yapped too much. But I guess I can try to read another one. Can I recommend a raid? Are we ending? I wanted to chat for a little bit longer, if that's okay. I don't think I'll have enough time to read another story, but I like hanging out with you guys. Yeah, it's only 9:43. It's okay, I was asking. No worries. Let's see. Actually, maybe I do have enough time to read another one. Thumbelina's only... Actually, I can read The Ugly Duckling. I was gonna read Thumbelina, The Little Mermaid, and The Ugly Duckling. But I think I have enough time to read The Ugly Duckling. I really like that one. It's very sweet. It's a happy ending. What is your favorite fairy tale? Oh, I don't know actually. The Little Mermaid is actually one of my favorites. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite. I'll have to get back to you on that one, Will. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could pick a favorite. I grew up with all of them, so I care about them in their own way. I think I can relate a lot to The Ugly Duckling. I think everyone on the Purple app fell asleep. Good, that means I did a good job. I like Sleeping Beauty. That's my sister's favorite. I love Sleeping Beauty. That's a beautiful one as well. But if everyone fell asleep on the Purple app, that means I did a good job, right? That was today's goal, was to have you guys go to sleep and relax. I like these stories. Good. I'm glad. I love these stories. Yeah, I think I'll read The Ugly Duckling. That one's not too long. So, The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen. It was beautiful in the country. It was summertime, and the wheat was yellow, the oats were green, and the hay was stacked up in the green meadows. And the stork paraded about on his long red legs, discoursing in Egyptian, which language he had learned from his mother. The fields and the meadows were skirted by thick woods, and a deep lake lay in the midst of the woods. Yes, it was indeed beautiful in the country. The sunshine fell warmly on an old mansion surrounded by deep canals, and from the walls down to the river's edge there grew large burdock leaves, so high that children could stand upright among them without being perceived. This place was as wild and unfrequented as the thickest parts of the wood, and on that account a duck had chosen to make her nest there. She was sitting on her eggs, but the pleasure she had at first was almost now gone, because she had been there so long and had so few visitors, for the other ducks preferred swimming on the canals to sitting among the burdock leaves gossiping with her. At last the eggs cracked one after another. Chick, chick! All the eggs were alive, and one little head after another appeared. Quack, quack, said the duck, and all got up as well as they could. I saw an analogy horror version of The Ugly Duckling not too long ago. Wait, now I'm kind of curious. I haven't seen an analogy. Now I'm very, very curious. Now I must work out. Enjoy your workout, Bomb Report. Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you have a good workout. They peeped about from under the green leaves, and as green is good for the eyes, their mother let them look as long as they please. How large the world is, said the little ones, for they found their present situation very different to their former confined one. While yet in the eggshells, do you mind this to be the whole of the world, said the mother. It extends far beyond the other side of the garden, the pastor's field. But I have not been there. Are you all here? And then she got up. No, I have not got you all. The largest egg is still here. How long will this last? I'm so weary of it. And then she sat down again. Well, how are you getting on? Said the old duck, who had come to pay her a visit. This one egg keeps me so long, said the mother. It will not break. Though you should see the others. They are the prettiest little ducklings I have seen in all my days. They are all like their father. They're good-for-nothing fellow. He has not been to visit me once. Let me see the egg that will not break, said the old duck. Depend upon it, it is a turkey's egg. I was cheated in the same way once myself, and I had such trouble with the young ones, for they were all afraid of the water, and I could not get them there. I called and scolded, but it was all of no use. But let me see the egg. Ah, yes, to be sure, that is a turkey's egg. Leave it, and teach the other little ones to swim. I will sit on it a little longer, said the duck. I have been sitting so long, I might as well spend the harvest here. It is no business of mine, said the old duck, and away she waddled. The great egg burst at last. Chick, chick, said the little one, and out tumbled. But oh, how large and ugly it was! The duck looked at it. That is a great strong creature, said she. None of the others are like it. It can be a young turkey. Well, we shall find out. It must go in the water, though I push it in myself. The next day there was delightful weather, and the sun shone warmly upon all the green leaves when Mother Duck with her family went down to the canal. Plump she went into the water. Quack, quack, she cried, and one duckling after another jumped in. The water closed over their heads, but all came up again and swam together in the pleasant manner. Their legs moved without effort. All were there, even the ugly gray one. No, it is not a turkey, said the old duck. Only see how prettily it moves its legs, how upright it holds itself. It is my own child. It is also really pretty when one looks more closely at it. Quack, quack, now come with me. I will take you into the world, introduce you to the duck yard, but keep close to me, or some may tread on you, and beware of the cat. So they came into the duck yard. There was a horrid noise. Two families were quarreling about the remains of an eel, which in the end was secured by the cat. See, my children, such is the way of the world, said the mother duck, wiping her beak, for she too was fond of roasted eels. Now use your legs, she said, keep together, and bow to the old duck you see yonder. She is most distinguished of all the fowls present, and is of Spanish blood, which accounts for her dignified appearance and manners. And look, she has a red rag on her leg that is considered extremely handsome, and is the greatest distinction a duck can have. Don't worry your feet inwards. A well-educated duckling always keeps his legs apart, like his father and mother, just so. Look, now bow your necks and say quack. They did all as they were told, but the other ducks who were in the yard looked at them and said aloud, Only see, now we have another brood, as if there were not enough of us already. And fie, how ugly that one is. We will not endure it. And immediately one of the ducks flew at him and bit him in the neck. Leave him alone, said the mother. He is doing no one any harm. Yes, but he is so large and so strange looking, and therefore he shall be teased. Those are fine children that our good mother has, said the old duck with the red rag on her leg. All are pretty except one, and that has not turned out well. I almost wish it could be hatched over again. Thank you for the shrimp check, William. That cannot be, please, your highness, said the mother. Certainly he is not handsome, but he is a very good child, and swims well as the others, indeed rather better. I think he will grow like the others all in good time, and perhaps will look smaller. He stayed so long in the eggshell, and it is the cause of difference. She scratched the duckling's neck and stroked his whole body. Besides, added she, he is a drake. I think he will be very strong, and therefore it does not matter so much. He will fight his way through. The other ducks are very pretty, said the old duck. Pray make yourselves at home, and if you find an eel's head, you can bring it home to me. And accordingly they made themselves at home. But the poor little duckling had come last out of its eggshell, and who was so ugly was bitten, pecked, and teased by both ducks and hens. It is so large, they all said, and the turkey, who had come into the world with spurs on, therefore fancied himself as was an emperor, puffed himself up like a ship full sail, and marched up to the duckling quite red with passion. The poor little duck scarcely knew what to do. He was quite distressed, because he was so ugly, and because he was just a poultry yard. So passed the first day, and afterwards matters grew worse and worse. The poor duckling was scorned by all. Even his brothers and sisters behaved unkindly, and were constantly saying, The cat fetched thee, thou nasty creature. The mother said, Ah, if thou were only far away. The ducks bit him, and hens pecked him, and the girl who fed the poultry kicked him. He ran over the hedge. The little birds in the bushes were terrified. That is because I am so ugly, thought the duckling, shutting his eyes, but he ran on. At last he came into a wide moor where lived some wild ducks. Here he lay the whole night, so tired and so comfortless. In the morning the wild ducks flew up and perceived their new companion. "Pray, who are you?" asked they, and our little duckling turned himself in all directions and greeted them as politely as possible. "You are really uncommonly ugly," said the wild ducks. "However, that does not matter to us, provided you do not marry into our families." Poor thing, he had never thought about marrying. He only begged permission to lie among the reeds and drink the water of the moor. There he lay 2 whole days. On the 3rd day there came 2 wild geese, or rather ganders, who had not been long out of their eggshells, which accounts for their impertinence. "Hark ye," they say, "you are so ugly that we'd like you infinitely well. Will you come with us and be a bird of passage?" On another moor, not far from this, are some dear sweet wild geese, as lovely creatures as they have ever said, "Hiss, hiss." You are truly in the way to make your fortune, ugly as you are. Bang! A gun went off all at once, and both wild geese were stretched dead among the reeds. The water became red with blood. Bang! A gun went off. Whole flocks of wild geese flew upon among the reeds, and another report followed. There was a grand hunting party. The hunters lay in ambush all around. Some were even sitting in the trees, whose huge branches stretched far over the moor. The blue smoke rose through the thick trees like a mist, and was dispersed as it fell over the water. The hounds splashed about in the mud, and the reeds hushed and bent in all directions. How frightened the poor little duck was! He turned his head, thinking to hide it under his wings, and in a moment a most formidable-looking dog stood close to him, his tongue hanging out of his mouth, his eyes sparkling fearfully. He opened wide his jaws at the sight of our duckling, showed him his sharp white teeth, and splash, splash, he was gone. Gone without hurting him. "Well, let me be thankful," sighed he. "I am so ugly that even the dog will not eat me." And now he lay still, though the shooting continued among the reeds, the shot following shot. The noise did not cease till late in the day, and even the poor little thing dared not stir. He waited several hours before he looked around, and hastened away from the moor as fast as he could. He ran over fields and meadows, as though the wind were so high he had thought some difficulty in proceeding. Towards the evening he reached a wretched little hut, so wretched that he knew not which side to fall, therefore remained standing. The wind blew violently, so that our poor little duckling was obliged to support himself on his tail in order to stand against it, but it became worse and worse. He then remarked that the door had lost one of its hinges, and hung so much awry that he could creep through the crevice into the room, which he did. In this room lived an old woman with her tomcat and her hen, and the cat, whom she called her little son, knew how to set up his back and purr. Indeed, he could even emit sparks when stroked the wrong way. The hen had very short legs, and was therefore called Cuckoo Shortlegs. She laid very good eggs, and the old woman loved her as her own child. The next morning, the next guest was perceived. The cat began to mew, and the hen to cackle. "What is the matter?" said the old woman, looking around. However, her eyes were not good, so she took the young duckling to be a fat duck who had lost her way. "This is a capital catch," she said. "I shall now have duck eggs. If it not be a drake, we must try." And so the duckling was put to the proof for 3 weeks, but no eggs made their appearance. Now the cat was the master of the house, and the hen was the mistress, and they always used to say, "we and the world," for they imagined themselves to not only be the half of the world, but also by far the better half. The duckling thought it was impossible to be a different opinion, but that hen would not allow. "Can you lay eggs?" asked she. "No." "Well then, hold your tongue." And the cat asked, "Can you set up your back? Can you purr?" "No." "Well then, you shall have no opinion when reasonable persons are speaking." So the duckling sat alone in the corner, and was in very bad humor. However, he happened to think of the fresh air and broad sunshine, and these thoughts gave him a strong desire to swim again, that he could not help but telling it to the hen. "What ails you?" said the hen. "You have nothing to do, therefore brood over these fancies, Either lay eggs or purr, and then you will forget them. But it is so delicious to swim, said the duckling. So delicious when the waters close over your head and you plunge to the bottom. Oops, sorry. I need water. Well, that is a queer sort of pleasure, said the hen. I think you must be crazy. Not to speak of myself, asked the cat. He is the most sensible animal I know. Whether he would like to swim or to plunge to the bottom of the water. Ask our mistress, the old woman. There is no one in the world wiser than she. Do you think she would take pleasure in swimming, and in the waters closing over her head? You do not understand me, said the duckling. What? We do not understand you. So you think yourself wiser than the cat and the old woman, not to speak of myself. Do not fancy any such thing, child. Be thankful for all the kindness that has been shown to you. Are you not lodged in a warm room? Have you not the advantage of society from which you can learn something? But you are a simpleton, and it is wearisome to have anything to do with you. Believe me, I wish you well. I tell you unpleasant truths, but it is thus that real friendship is shown. Come, for once give yourself the trouble to learn to purr or lay eggs. I think I will go out into the wide world again, said the duckling. Well, go, answered the hen. So the duckling went. He swam on the surface of the water and plunged beneath, but all the animals passed by on account of his ugliness. And autumn came, the leaves turned yellow and brown. The wind caught them and danced about, the air was very cold, and the clouds were heavy with hail or snow, and the raven sat on the hedge and croaked. The poor duckling was certainly not very comfortable. Man, this is making me eepy. That's the whole point, William. It is to make you eepy. One evening, just as the sun was setting with unusual brilliance, a flock of large, beautiful birds rose from the bushward. The duckling had never seen anything so beautiful before. Their plumage was of a dazzling white, and they had long, slender necks. They were swans. They uttered a singular cry, spread out their long, splendid wings, and flew away from these cold regions to warmer countries across the open sea. They flew so high, so very high, and the little ugly duckling's feelings were so strange. He turned around and around in the water like a mill wheel, strained his neck to look after them, and sent forth such a loud and strange cry that it almost frightened himself. Ah! He could not forget them, those noble birds, those happy birds. He could see them no longer. He plunged to the bottom of the water and then rose again, was almost beside himself. The duckling knew not what the birds were called, knew not whither they were flying, yet he loved them as much as never loved anything before. He envied them not. It would never have occurred to him to wish such beauty for himself. He would have been quite contented if the duck in the duckyard had but endured his company, the poor ugly animal. I'm just in thank you, Will. The winter was so cold, the duckling was obliged to swim around and around in the water to keep it from freezing. But every night the opening in which he swam became smaller and smaller. It froze so that the crust of the ice crackled. The duckling was obliged to make good use of his legs to prevent the water from freezing entirely. At last, wearied out, he lay stiff and cold in the ice. Early in the morning there passed a peasant who saw him, broke the ice in pieces with his wooden shoe, and brought him home to his wife. He now revived. The children would have played with him, but our duckling thought they wished to tease him, and in his terror jumped into the milk pail, and so the milk was splashed about the room. The good woman screamed and clapped her hands. He flew thence into the pan where the butter was kept, and thence into the meal barrel, and out again, and how strange he looked. The woman screamed and struck at him with tongs. The children ran races with each other, trying to catch him, and laughed and screamed likewise. It was well for him that the door stood open. He jumped out amongst the bushes into new fallen snow. He lay there as in a dream. But it would be too melancholy to relate all the trouble and misery that he was obliged to suffer during the severity of the winter. He was lying on a moor among the reeds when the sun began to shine warmly again. The lark sang, the beautiful spring had returned. And once more he shook his wings. They were stronger than formerly, and bore him forwards quickly before he was swell of them. He was in a large garden where the apple trees stood in full bloom, where the syringas stood sent forth their fragrance and hung their long green branches down the winding canal. Oh, everything was so lovely, so full of the freshness of spring, and out of the thicket came 3 beautiful white swans. They displayed their feathers so proudly and swam so lightly, so lightly. The duckling knew the glorious creatures and was seized with a strange melancholy. I will fly to them, those kingly birds, said he. They will kill me, because I, ugly as I am, have presumed to approach them. But it matters not. Better to be killed by them than to be bitten by the ducks, pecked by the hens, kicked by a girl who feeds the poultry, and to have so much to suffer during the winter. He flew into the water and swam towards the beautiful creatures. They saw him and shot forward to meet him. Only kill me, said the poor animal. He bowed his head low, expecting death. But what did he see in the water? He saw beneath him his own form, no longer that of a plump, ugly gray bird. It was that of a swan. It matters not to have been born in a duckyard, if one has been hatched from a swan's egg. The good creature felt himself really elevated by all the troubles and adversities he had experienced. He could only rightly estimate his own happiness, and the larger swans swam around and stroked him with their beaks. Some little children were running about the garden. They threw grain and bread into the water, and the youngest exclaimed, "There is a new one." The others cried out, "Yes, there's a new swan, come." They clapped their hands and danced around. They ran to their father and mother. Bread and cake were thrown into the water, and everyone said, "The new one is the best, so young, so beautiful." The old swans bowed before him. The young swan felt quite ashamed and hid his head under his wings. He scarcely knew what to do. He was all too happy, but still not proud, for a good heart is never proud. He remembered how he had been persecuted and derided, and he now heard everyone say he was the most beautiful of all the beautiful birds. The syringas bent down their branches towards him low into the water, and the sun shone so warmly and brightly. He shook his feathers, stretched his slender neck, and then the joy of the heart said, "How little did I dream of so much happiness when I was the ugly, despised duckling." And that is the end of the ugly duckling story. I like that one a lot too.
Oh, no! There's an ad! No!
The timing of it all.
I really like the ugly duckling story. It is a nice story. I like that this one has a happier ending. I wanted to have one that ended on a happier ending. I was like, oh, that's right. The Little Mermaid is quite bittersweet and melancholy. But I guess in a way it has its own happy ending, because she can work towards her goal in the end. I think that's quite beautiful. I think it's a lovely goal to work towards your dreams, even if it just takes a little bit longer. It was pleasant to listen to. Thank you, Guppy. No, thank you, Jovan, for listening. I think I will call it here. My voice is getting quite tired from reading. I didn't realize how much it would take to whisper and to read. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Do you guys want more ASMR streams? Do you want more bedtime story streams? Or I'll just keep these like rare and in between. I think I might keep them rare and in between. Yeah? And absolutely yes. Okay, I'm glad. I'll try to do them at different times, so that way everyone can experience them before bed. Let's take care of ourselves, shall we? Yes, it's time for bed. It's rest. Yeah, thank you, Valentis, for hanging out with us. Can we recommend raid now? Absolutely, William. Absolutely, I will happily take raids. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Valentis. I'm really happy you guys hung out with me today. Doppelglitch. Oh, I know Doppelglitch. I know Doppelglitch. I think I know Doppelglitch. Oh yeah, Doppelglitch raided here. I remember them. We can absolutely raid them tonight. And I'll see you guys on Friday, right? I hope you enjoy my short story collection. I will. I'm going to actually read it tomorrow at the gym when I'm working on the bike. It was so good. I actually went to sleep for a bit. Wait, really? Wait, really? That makes me so happy. Wait. That makes me so happy. I can only hope that this provides some, what is the word? relaxation. Thank you for stream, you cute fish. No, you guys are cute. You guys are the cute ones. This makes me so happy. The fact that I know that at least one of you was sleepy, 2 of you were sleepy, this is a success to me. Okay, sailors, take care, sleep well, and I'll see you on Friday for the very opposite of relaxation. We're going to continue onward with Resident Evil Requiem. I actually closed my eyes there for a bit. Yay! Yay, that makes me so happy. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Joker. I do need it. Full of smiles for you. And then. 1, 2, 3. And then. Thank you, Poker. Whoops, well, I typed in the wrong thing. Thank you, Poker. Thank you, Joker. Good night. Good night to Poker. Good night to Joker. Good night to William. Good night to Will. Good night to Joey. Good night to Valentis. Good night to Jovan. Good night to William. I definitely missed people. Hold on. Good night to Bomberport. Wait, I'm waiting. Good night to Norararo, who's definitely asleep. I'm waiting. Why am I waiting? Nothing? Oh, okay. Is something wrong, Joey? I can wait. You sure? Eh? No, you're cute. What the heck? Good night, manager-san. Okay. I'll see you guys on Friday for very frightful screams that you guys, for whatever reason, find relaxing. Good night. Oh, Yasumi me.